ne team and Juventus na nra na enya asem ketwa Ronaldo etimi nya 1 goal na so no sa the goal no nya ye no antimi anya hwe amfa ma ono ani team but AC Milan within 5 minutes no match 3 goals ayese nra de won mo hwe Juventus 4-2 na yese enya asem ketwa akora ene matches a eba so no Florentina ono so ene ne form the share need den say matches enya asem ketu akura Roma obo match na oni Parma Atlanta ono so ene Sao Paulo edi ball ni utim say Udinese munyina wo match a enya asem ketu Inter Milan nyame adoma o chena na ono so ne match no ba so den na say no ho ensem eno ukohwe mu table ni dia na say na dia mu table no Juventus after so lose against AC Milan no was 75 points Lazio so lose na say small for meaning na obi lose Lazio lose no so ekuta 68 points and na Inter Milan or more on match here no so ekuta 64 points na say no ho ensem Atlanta any AC Milan mu nyina to so ho so mo hwama bibia aye kama ekopia ensem mu dia na say the voice or their two gas ekwan bia so no say ohwe na niema ekoyie na bibia aye fine dia na say friends Manchester United omo MP F Jones any Abrante ndi the Lingard dia na Abrante omo kotabiro mu mienu nti Lingard and F Jones and the dey say the voice na ni abre so okwa kotabiro mu mienu na for dey na be kan team na bibia enso aye kama ma no ntanta so no ekopie mu Inter Milan dia na die uhwemu dia Abrante ndi le Tony Martinez ne ba cross no ke say ebe close na me adoma ende pe na ebe na wie a basafo betimi o ma approach Abrante no na no na me hwehwehwe mu ahu se basafo no ezo musika na anka eso mko fa Abrante enso dan so sa sika na enso ntino awakwa ABC basa bi wo mu so mu koto no mra ne nkrabia na eno se be kire kopia mu wa Arsenal dia nra on board draw na no na hwemu dia na sa Ateta da betu dwa so mu coach no o da to dwa se esi ana obo mpaye no ne Madrid for kasa se na dia obetimi akofa obetimi akipi Abrante and ne David Casas na sa be ya obetimi nya Abrante no nima akoyie ade ma Abrante ntino mo bompaye se na dia Madrid for beti ase na Ceballos mo any other players bi no Madrid beti ase amom no so atini akati minimu na se no ho ensem enso eno no yekopie mu awo Inter Milan dia no dia to dwa se ohwa omoke sponsors no womo si womu nyeska emfa mo ntimi nkoto la no Messi nkomo hwe mu ankom person nkoto Messi edi beka timi se de na Juventus for omakofa Abrante Ronaldo no anka mo so akofa Messi na nso no ohwemu dia enya dia omoke sponsors no ebetumi abo mo nya se ska no da akofa Abrante no ntina se no ho ensem enso no yekopie mu ewo Barcelona na se ne die Barcelona for oma confirm say kon bia so na Abrante omo coach no ena die yes otena Barcelona ho na season no wadi ne djuma de ama Barcelona na say omo hwe anim say fans no ebi buafu players ni su buafu ntina na say emre ene nkrabia ene be kire say Abrante no ana openikase no betimi atena Barcelona team ni mu na afedi omo president no ene tuja say kon bia so na Abrante no tena de obetena na say no ensem no kopie mu a na say Manchester United ni Arsenal omo buso hwe say James Rodriguez ebetimi bepie mu ewo Manchester team ni mu na ne de omo bia obinya ni bia no ebebo Abrante no sisi ano wonya bi mbo what bench wonya bi mbo sika ada no so 22.5 million euro ene da Abrante James so nti omo hwe say omo betimi akofa Abrante no so abetuto niam ba ko mienu miensa no ma hwe say omo betimi anya na bia enso aye kama ade amane ekopia mu dia ene de je say ugohwe mu a Juventus woni City mienu no player ba ko ene isi de omo twene dare ene asere we so ha we aso ha we twene nan we twene nsa na yese Adam Traore ene ne de Wolves Abrante no defender papa na hwe board ne ekuta na da bia ya meka ene ase na mebisa me say Abrante ohwe mu anka de pa no nka onyo obeye wrestling and boxing and anka so obo na nso no de ahodin we nyina e de bobo na yese no ensem no intina City for omani abere Juventus enso eni abere say omunya 80 million bia eno mwa ko fa Abrante no se ne Abrante nso ba be si na aka yekopie mu a na yese tio na no mi boti no bi say na tio de senka asemadi sa bi madi bi na de tio a o si na kan di ma AC Milan na tim say ne ni abre den say akwan bi aso nyame adom na niam so eto yie dia Abrante enso bet number one of the best midfielders wiase a utimi dia tim say ni coach eni abre pa che say obi e bo Abrante na ba so na modebo enra say o mafia Ronaldo pa che say na nke say Ronaldo nya be 2 or 3 goals no na so na osini kwan e ma ba ko pe ana Abrante no so de osini kwan akura na still obenya go na che say no ensem no kopie mu e wo PSG dia na say ni do magye atum say ena esika e da ho say basa for me fan name and need and come up fan pa dia set 170 million euro 170 million euro and nedi but page for their tour say omo pe name dia o mefa ana say o the two players ebeka eye ho two players beka sika kakra ho na befa branch na se no ho ensem no yekopiem wo ikadi akache dia na se na ikadi say na eye ne de so oba page o say na biggest na the biggest decision na to take you football mu na o hwe anim se betimi abam ana mpa etimi bam na nyese Madrid obekọ ana United na Chelsea ana Barcelona na bi na nke se page na opese ebam na abam jamanu tie da so na abam jamanu da manu nsem no enyina de asi de ama o yekopiemu ewo efie dia na se na de ebam a na hwe eye matches bi hwe games bi a ewo wiase no bia ebu bia na se cheese na de am sa egusi aboduaba bi edisisi bi ni so no we de tusi ani we de atuasi ani ade na se nya sanketwa sa gro no na de say empenifo enye opportunity international akokobo na hwe eye phone na wo laptop no so bo nse enkola na ebo na ade no na empenifo de to say after COVID-19 no obetu kwan akwa abrochire na amakobo international match no because match bi esika ugom na empenifo nso enhwe no momoa ema nima nyina enkoso enfam emom yekopiemu ewo penikese ba akwa ne de wagidin pa wagidin Kofi Menu Blue Boy aka Blue Boy no na enya sempito bi mu fe Blue Boy ese no ensem ni edi Kofi Menu ofri eye bie na ode eba no na ensem ode ba ne se aduana for supporters pa magu enimu ase na se kuno magu enimu ase na me obunu ni ba ko ewo mi stadium na nya sanketwa na ono ani we de efie ni fie na osi mo omago enimu ase magu enimu ase na de na moye adamu ni mra na ye de mra na ye adwuma organo enti mo so lintimi nkokọ te se na ye de DFA kokọ te se adentino makotoko na ekokọ represent Ghana e Africa ene Ashanti David mo ntimi nyesa enti mo nyasa ne man magu enimu ase pa we dey I ya enti we ene nsem akọ Menu Blue Boy ototo gidi ma omo se omo nnim mra na omo mra no onkyere mra no na mra no kura no e da hopete pefe se wangasa akọhwe kura na enkyere wo se bomodi aso be de wo be sa de enti na se no ene nsem a eye bununi no eye Kofi Menu Blue Boy e de tudwa e de ma yekopiemu e wo Sule Ali Muntali Agyeiwaa kanjaba Agyeiwaa kanja ne ba Sule Muntali ne de ye se na anu am be tudwa kire wo se oso po South Africa bi akọ na no na ye free house of company phone bi bisa am se perifo Muntali onya house obobo na so si ade oso kopiemu South Africa on so ni board abo na wi o se o ye nsuro enche ye be approach no am na hu se no South African M1 omebo e won man mu Ghana na afi on fa ne papa bi emre house of folk o se house se obamu a emu ode nyame adom no anso na videos bi ni na social media kire se utimi se house o ma bi park na so awie na akase o me hyehye ne ma no mse nya de nne o me sate e de ne magu form na se adwuma no asi e de amam ukopiemu e wo Kumasi Asante Kotoko de are se ne abrantia no bolom enima kotoko no Justice Blay na omo hwe anim se obetimi asane se omo gusu a omo ne media mafo edi enkomo den na se omo hwe anim se nyame adoma webe obetimi nya branch no na akosi Champions League akansi no bi na se no ho ensem no because omo se one of the best midfielders omo wo Ghana ha na se no ho ensem no former CEO edima Kumasi Asante Kotoko na se George Amwako ho asem na me kan no se media se ba pass Kotoko adwuma na the worst tena ono ankasa ofam o se ne te se na abra bo nyina eye basa abra okwaje eye adwuma na edebo na koma so se obebo amakotoko tim no enso akoyie na se no ho ensam nti zi ade waje atum se kemfesa eno beko so no de se all return back eye adwuma da nti na se no ho ensam no nti so kotoko de otumfo kra fra na nya de baba na se no ho ensam enso eno ye kopiemu de na se hazo folk om legend dankwe na se de kasa na okasa na o se uhwemu dia na nke so okokobo kotoko na so okoya no anyeye ena obepiemu o has ebo no se abra obo ma has kra etimiji confederation no na nkope so obuemu kotoko na enedie ode atudwa o se kotoko de otumfo the best o se biasi mo bi eni obi o se Ghana ha pani bi eni ho ensamrane na ena ne de otete bi ade ama otumfo na ne ho ensam ne kopiemu Felix Anai dia na se ne de Felix Anai ena de atudwa se si ana ohwemu se ne ma betimi akoyi ade ama no na so obompa ye se nei obetimi anya akonya kotoko tim ni mu na fe watimi start as a captain no ono so betimi start e de ma kotoko na nima nyina enso akoyie e de ma branch na ese no ho ensem enso no ntisi ano wohwe mu ayekobisa eye mo coach training omu trainer no a coach gippers ne adade no say oni gipa ni problem bia itime man crofo nwene say dia oni gipa no problem tina ono so entimi push no emfa ni enwura mu wo national international team no na sa ensem tie kopia mu e wa Ashanti Gold dia na say Ashanti Gold omanya new coach a ofi Brazil na branch ndi Roberto Landi Roberto Landi wa promise Ashanti Gold say championship no mo kon ana say Champions League na kwakobo no obeboa Ashanti Gold atimi agi glory obeboa mo atimi agi trophy no edi aba na enundwade entopo nko sa na ensem eti egopia mu wa Ashanti Gold na say nei kumanya Asante Kotoko sorry ejase mo anu anu na no na say Kotoko da betu dwa say wo mo hwe anim webe say na wo twi be ko na wie no wo metimi nya siwo edi ama ye Kotoko team no wo mo so mo mpere wo mo ho wo mo nya fine omo anya fine but omo hwe say o meyi board mu baako na ono so abeye siwo no ba ate ase siwo ko si so benya siwo ho papa na ono so betututu nyema baako mienu miensa ede amom ketokraku aha GFA president na dey yes na honsem no abebibire wada tubia say football no enche ebede o say football be yi e wo Ghana o say Ghana football ebe yi na sa na terms no e wo de ya pi atwi no na afia je enchiremu dia fi no kwanti a wo kasa ensana no wada tubia say sia de wo gusu etoto niema wo bodi Ghana football no o say Ghana football no ewiase o say Ghana na first COVID-19 nti no Ghana na first na so no COVID-19 na chi no ana say after September no Ghana football I'm a fan of February. Was it Ghana football? Ebedu sa level no. Na obechirechire mu dia kire enche. Intine se mu hwe anim se kwebe no. Ebabo pri no ni nnadi nkomo ne afane atrom no. Na se no ho ensem. Me me nsem nyina eba na wie dia na se kwani ba kwa na die se obutu interlice chief executive or dia to bia se na mo de mo so am se sika na efififa eba no enso ye yo. Etima mu ho mani nto so sa osi sika na efififa eba na abeto 1.5 billion no enye hwe endu ba bia etimi ya tuma dwunu kra na mo hwe se kakra na beba na mo fan support mo ho na munya ise mo a mo pre mo ho na sika ye bedio na ye ncheni o ezi aka tere tudwa se sika no oche ade ama footballers clubs no ama mo so enjoy sa na ensem etie aha ana mdi nsem ni nyina edi AC ama na afi mini akosomo wo menche ase na so no enche akese enkomati ndi Father Desi Junior the same penifo na wo ba twuma ene aye Agyeiwaa kodi opa bi na Victoria Daniel anso ha se akosomo opa bi na yese no ensem no enche akese enkoma me maame na Cop Jones and Winifred Abigail amponsa atubi ansa me nua ba kope akosomo
Charles.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ibi aboko de.
Na me adom.
Hey. Nyabeti o. COVID-19 kunipa.
Eno de. So your cases na 21,000.
Me come to me tekwa na me. Yesi oyefunye so dari abapada yesi uya nyami. Enti empire ne yebo.
My symptoms na nansi asesa.
Asemo.
Yale ba ko na bi afim.
Yale ba ko. Ente ko so mo de na ko social media.
Oh, nansi social media de bi abasora no pa na phone na messages na e ba se ya. Nyama ne de do so pa. Ayi medical crowd ne ayi nyumi. Asin central.
Kana Japan.
Onyx Kennedy nyum enyo ne di baby anura pe ba obi atunu se omo ma download di kra na me Kessewaa kra de o de asafi nura de sinne nti enu medical ho sensem ne beyi bi ache na ya enu Agyeiwaa poyo
abanje ne osha ho
goat ba ko pe enyum tom goat ono so wenya international deal kese bi pa o de Charles ya be kan wa se mechi right me be chire ho a me no be chitu
Matias
mo akwa baba entertainment just we di am just one amakosom I following with social media platforms, Facebook, any Instagram, MHTV, YouTube, any Twitter, so no Marbling House Limited. Subscribe to your channels and like your pages and leave a comment. Maybe our person will be Sebian. Fatwa, I hope be a tidy a shiny crack. I say, oh, and then I will tidy your fit. Or better will be a tour no. Now is when you be at I show you so no. Morning break Jumede, the almost sponsor and Global Sky Security. Global Sky Security say someone is always watching. And I Leonard Holmes. Yes, I see no yede Canada Japan any medical not was obiase o medical no hwa na carry an e kofom rapper ba ko pe one calipo two biscuits omso mo hwa na carry na kofom panos mumu smart me smart crashing o hwa Kennedy start on asofo yi di ne de ne asofo e so munya papa Ghana oni di ne de ne na o se me fa me ho bata papa yi na won hwa de papa bi be fim aba na o de ne ho ko bata papa ya na oni papa ya nyum te no nnwom nim no beti se papa ne voice na papa ne tu ne fo na wote wo nnwom nim se ya nnwom ne ba nra pe na nnwom na sele a me se efia se pe obi a download e oni phone so na na Kessewaa de asasa ntino medical new song na all feature Honorable Kennedy Japan na sin Central MP na efe no cap no nnwom no hit banga kasapana medical releasing ya to ansem ne so a ye nua be ma AY Poyo an nnwom tuni AY Poyo goat musical goat ba ko pe oni show Madiza oni show Madozi nnwom South Africa girl not ball John Cena an oni na nnwom o se oni ne nya deal kese pa oni ne kwakoye nnwom tino ye hwe AY Poyo nnwom ni show oni show nnwom yi ni arese ne be kwa kosi na AY Poyo de Ghana ha de waji ba bia patapa kramma odo patapa na any inspiration patapa male when cry dance or artist with the whole Ghana no ono kro mind AY Poyo ese oni show eba be nnwom kese pa sa nnwom no enya Ghana pe na be sele na enya South Africa pe na be sele ebe ko international Grammys ni na no sa nnwom no ebe boa no ama ne nya bi Calvin Boy's so time album no de ba afia ono de oye virtual concert krama album oni Stone Boy nsensem na ebe na wotwemienu ni ai pobo na sum ni adade ni na echi no say oh me time album no de oye den am de beba na oye ho virtual concert na brand ye virtual concert we no wenya 1 million views onya 1 million o se me na ne mebu atopa ma meti ayeme ya na Calvin Boy di tisi from na Calvin Boy asa na wato party wo ho se we netimenya 1 million views and I say 1 million streams e wo YouTube e wo no ane nyom ene ne album time ne so so na ni agiye pa say Ghana fo anya ni mu na oye enyom no o metima to no metie ni ye pa on de ni age ho say Ghana fo so support no e wo msensensem bebre abafa ne ho ma Ghana fo de o munye o madwe so meja no Calvin Boy mu no awon ne manager Black City so say o mo de aseda e ma Ghana ni bia no ma san de aseda so ma Stone Boy if say Stone Boy and a boy and man be ye ne with my yin na Stone Boy signing it to the album no wa boa ne palm e woni nwum tuo nti time album na ode aba no o si wa wini bi no ai ko na kope se wo beto wa app store se wo be ye ni de yo ko na kope nwum ni bi ai album mu ni na kope tie fasa se de ode medical nwum na yesa no ai ko to Calvin Boy de no so na fasa na ye to ye de a e na be ma artist no o metimi akọ omanim e wo mu nwum tuo okonfo kwa de na afi wasamba be kasa se oh na nsin de me ho atome na munya kasa e bia me ni mabusuafo ntem kakra we oh be 20 years ni de me ni me ma me ni papa net no ma kire mo doso ku bi me yare ni na no omo gusu kra mi mu na omo bo mpa ya ma me fans omo no mutie me nyum ni na omo bo mpa ya ma me no mu gusu bo me nyum no so o de aseda kese e komo mu no se de obetima ya ma ne fans bo ne o ma ya ma ni na ho ne se obe release album and obeye ni EP kese pa e de ama ne fans e woni o ma ya mani ni na nkoso o metie ni nwum ni yie pa o ma boa ne so ni mpaebo mu ebi besra no ebi ye video no mo kan kran hyesem kire no o he video so o timi he video ni bia ni wasua o se yi o no kra no a obi ambuno no Ghana for de yegusu do no se an o konfo kwa de o yan konfo ba ko pe wonwum tuo mu ntino enya de a yebeja ne hokwa sinichani Yvonne Nelson so no de ababetu dwa say voters registration ya ya onu onti ase ohun so yare corona yaba ekunkum nipa na say cases kwa yenya be 21000 yenya 21000 ni etire ni eti mo san salai se mo kwa kotro mudi se mo ba beto aba ama obi papa aba bedi so onye hwe emam nti Ghana fo ebe ya yen use your common sense na politicians we de omo baby ti on to kwasisi a obi abefu plane e de ne ba akosi abrochi memu ni waja yen o ha se ntokwa ni ayibibia wo mu bia yen wu wo mu ntono ne de otu Ghana fo na afu se yen use your common sense yen dwen hu ba mienu ana se miensa ansan yakwa kotro yedin se yakwa koto aba na abato ya ntokura na den ne beba onu do so ohun so mfaso bi ase e beto aba okure mu na abato no be ofiniye a ofitu aba ohun mfaso bi enye hwe man emfa mpuntu bi a emre na brabom to no ne de o ka che Ghana phone na so omfo madwentu hu yie pa na honom kra okono social distancing enye aduma tissue paper eda honom basa na once so once na kra wan kra once let me carry coronavirus no da be tissue ni so segban obi sanitizer gu ni nsem a on paper sanitizer ni hu bi ewenti no ono de ebe ya Ghana phone na enseso ma adwe no mo ntwe mo ho kura ma mo nkotwiro mu din so ma ntwiro mu din a aban ni besu enyansa ehu se yare ya wo hoi de enya de sese ye twiro edin se wa beto aba ye mo mampani na ntena so na afi se ne time ne so a ni ape bibi a ye be ya den afa ho ni enjai se ye ni na akosala ni abodom pimo bebi se ye kwakotwiro edin aba be yi mampani Shatawale dancer or artist Shatawale International Act or Shatawale one Beyonce nyom Shatawale na afi also the Gift of God album eba na ebisa ni say oh na Gift of God album nipa ben bi na was oh Gift of God there Sakode was subi Stone Boy was subi Samini was subi nkofo bebre act bebre was subi na ene Shatawale aba beka say oh Gift of God album enya de obetimi dey aba out time or kan say or the beba out if you say corona no ayedin paama nkofo bebre ewuwu ebi so gusu yare fa ho ntino enya de obetimi de sa album no aba out amomu nina etima besom twetwe say oh ya ba so Gift of God ni na say Gift of God ne kra ba yeden ebetimi asele a nto twen o ma ne ho time ebebe busumi mienu ne miensa echi no obehwese na yare ne ko say ohwe na yare na brass ya obe release ni album na ono so de ma funny face amopa say funny face ebe release ni album on the 10th Animal Kingdom ono do say mo ahonyum nko an obebo ebi bo nipa ahonyum na ebo ma ahonyum ono do say mo ahonyum nko an obebo nti ono so ya mana mo e wo ne nyum na ode beba on the 10th of July no Mr. Easy Kofi Kintin krono enyum tuni Kofi Kintin krono no nko an na ne din no onim bebi a efi bai na Mr. Easy so na wanya major international actor oni Nicki Minaj anya Nicki Minaj eba be bonyo o se oni Nicki Minaj ni mu de ogidi se ebetimi kra ma na wini Grammy Mr. Easy say o enyum we de o hwa Grammy available song into no or targeted the Grammys no the enyum ni o hwa enyum ne be boa na minute me wini Grammy pint ono de onu hu say Nicki Minaj oni ne be bonyo ebe ma ne mileage e international world although our part with international world ebe boa ne kra ma na expand the horizon no ebe man kofo bebrete obenya China for fans ni na cause China for dem feel Nicki Minaj pa obenya enya eyifo Korea for ni na say ombetie ni nyum nti Nicki Minaj no one ne ba beye no ohwa enyum a ebe boa yie pa Infiansia etwemu na ye nia be ma Castro ntini Castro Castro ne de okoi oyira wonsuo so ne Janet Bandu ayira wonsuo so na infiansia ba na sisi ano obi asi Castro nwi obi kra so ote na Castro we Dubai ohwe na Castro akashi scafe na account mu ne credit card o use you na ye huhu nsensem ntino Castro nwi na aban ya weto se aban o se mmere mu no so obi yira 7 years echi ye hu na enu no ebusuya betima ye na ayiye kama nti se ya wenya 6 years ye mbom pa se ansa na afini bekwa awie ye ne de na Castro aba se o ma ye de a ena afi 2021 ebusuafo ebetima ye na ayiye na yetima akora na tikura na esie no na madofo aba besu no ye nya ne mu de ani mu de ye nya nti ye de ne picture ena be tare ho ma besu no se ye ntimi enhu Castro eni Janet Bandu ansana afi we akona wie ya entertainment just no enne aha eni edisi nana aba Agyeiwaa papa bi nana Agyeiwaa papa bi ene nana ya Kessewaa the morning break newspaper review no eba betwa so nti didwa na tenase na ma we mfi so obe follow we social media platforms na so Facebook any Instagram MHTV YouTube any Twitter so no Marveling House Limited Jumaku so ya sene so Global Sky Security someone is always watching and Leonard Holmes edi amejeswa ne ama akosomo makraw.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence.
Right, my name is Nesta Lenas. I'm the general manager of the company Global Sky Security Limited. Global Sky Security Limited, we are an international security company which we specialize in providing security services to various individuals or corporate organizations. When we talk of security systems, namely CCTV, access control device, electrical fence, tracking device, and security man guard officers as well.
The control room is designed in such a way that we have radios, a VCR radio there, which monitors our vehicles when they go out for day and night patrols, just to receive first-hand information from supervisors and the team who go out for that patrol.
With the ICT part of the services that we're going to talk about, the CCTV security systems, the access control systems, tracking device systems, biometric door lock systems, and many more. So when we talk about the ICT part, that is the ICT part of the company. We specialize in what I've mentioned earlier. And when you talk about the physical aspect, that has to do with the professional man guard security services. These are professional guards we recruit. We do background check on them. We do profiling on them. We actually train them on two things: theory part and the physical part. Theory part for them to know how to work with people, human relations, and also when it comes to the physical part, how to defend them. To defend themselves in terms of a robbery or an attack. So, long story short, basically those are the two things that the company provides.
For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
At this point, I call on the Gender Minister, Honorable Cynthia Morrison, to give us her word. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you and good morning. All protocol have been duly observed, so I'll just go straight to the point. Jewels of the street, you are my jewels indeed. I saw your raw state and I see you today and I'm amazed. Clap for yourselves. This is called determination. Whatever you determine to do, you do it so well. You are here today meeting some of you for the very first time. You may or may not see yourselves again. You have to practice, and sometimes practice is on your own or with a colleague. The subject that you are not good in, make friends with somebody who is very good at it. After the practice, that is when you achieve your successes or your failures. But I believe that is going to be successes without failures. Do you also believe in that? It is only not the yes that will make you succeed. It is the training and it is the practice that will make you achieve whatever reason you are here with. As for my jewels, I can tell you they are so focused and I know they will succeed. And I want to see the overall best coming from you. And I know these ones are going to be your blessing tomorrow. Thank you very much and God bless all of us.
The streets full of jewels.
Ebusiafo ade akye bia no pen so ya ma wakwa aba ediba morning break dwumadi so newspaper review no se ne ama kosomo kan no na ya Kessewaa me ne Agyeiwaa yesinkonya yedi yeda obokrata mu nsem ne nyina ebremo ene Wednesday July 8 2020 nsema se na mekan wo yeda obokrata mebobol ne nyina so edi ama anopen me bisa so coronavirus ekwa ekosro agese nkofo omunya no tumu se obi beka na asem se esisi ade skafo ne line we kwaten enso no yare we enim so wo ska we enim so wo ne ska agese wo yare kra wobenya aduru ato anaasɛ wobenya fruit sɛnea nneɛma a wobɛdidi ama ho atɔ nti anɔpɛ yɛmbɔ yɛn ho ban sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na coronavirus no ɛnkyeɛ ne sɛnea ɛkan ne ɛprɛ kɛsɛ yɛnonom akekaduro garlic ɛne wobɛhyɛ ɔhene kra na de gu w'anum a ne yɛnyɛ ne saa sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ ne yɛbɛbɔ yɛn ho ban ɛfiri coronavirus no ho global sky security ɛne Lena Soms ɛtaa yɛkyi anɔpa wei ɔmo ɛna sɛ yɛasɛm yɛde mo ne bɛtwumadi ɛbrɛ anɔpa bia no nti Agyeiwaa yɛ krado so the mindset of the wise no etwa so amaye the mindset of the wise no yesua bibi e de afrim se na ebeye na botai bi e de sie no so ana se ebenya dwensa kyerɛ bi ɛwɔ nneɛma a yɛhyehyɛ sɛ we de ne enkoye mame we de me de mensa so mo ebedwura gu no ha ɛno ɛna yɛde tu yɛ ho fo nti ayɛ krado so de etwa so na afin so hot news platform a MX TV yatene yɛde mo nsɛm no atwa so ama sankra na yakoyede obokrata enu aba akwa wanopɛ
ejoso and the mindset of the wise the also in nine. He remembers the power or the law of creativity is only activated when you move or take a step. Understand this, the power of God has given you to create will work when you start to do something, not when you're sitting down saying I'm waiting on God. No, God is always waiting on you. Good morning. Actually, sabri bia no kai hu se nyame no what on twen wonti dia wo ye bia no yire wo hu na ye ewo aprabu.
Se na e ka no soro eboa ne oboa no ho. Nti se wo te fa akona won take step bi je se won tu anamo bi a Nyankopɔn on be hira ha se na me kan no ete ebia wo ho na wo pese wo ton bibia na se wo ye bibia utu anamon bi na bia Nyankopɔn afo bi so e de aboa nye se de bia wo dan ne se ne aweda ya yi wo be so ya homa chance se awo ewom no ene o de ntuma kuru ho ene wa da de je se de den so na wo expect se bosom ne bekɔ wi na se de dano kra bekɔ wi na chese bibi ekura wo sem nya sa ene se ba no nti bibia ne ntu anamon na anamon na ebetu no ena Nyankopɔn enso ebefa so e de hiraye
yese was straw eboa de oboa no dada oto na wo de wonsta ehye odem refem a enya de a wonsa ebeka hiro no kwa me yeti ase se o se hwehwe ubehu bom na obebi bisa wonsa beka se wan hwehwe a nya de wonsa so na wembisa wonsa enka nti abibia ne akasa yemmo ye ho so yese de food ya pa no na ye pia net wo ye bibia nyame na onda na ontonku ono so wo de ubedru empempe so a ese efata
Nyankopɔn edu bedu pempenso a ese fata se wutu anamon eno ena the mindset of the wise achese ne ye de etu ye hofo no na ye free the mindset of the wise mo nsem no mu a na ye hot news platform MATV ye WhatsApp platform papa ha eno no news ne go ho ena bebre se ya ti e bobo bi so e de amount we o say attack Agyeiwaa records not her gender boaben asamoa MP for Adenta and MPP Communication Director Agyeiwaa Asamoah has hit back at critics including Betty Mood Idrisu for implying that he made sexist comments in his reaction to the NDC running mate appointment. Several female personalities and women groups including former NDC women leader Agyeiwaa have asked the MPP Communication Director to apologize of his comments that the selection of Professor Agyeiwaa shows former President John Dramani Mahama does not take Ghanaians seriously. However, the MP insists that though Nana Jane has distinguished herself in her career, her political achievements are nothing to write home about.
na chese Nana Jane ono ne Nana Jane Agyeiwaa ho nsem edi ehim wo hot news platform ne se na ebi ka no semampani dida John Dramani Mahama wo pow eye mam Jane pa de na chese Ghana dem pa na odwene ade nti eno ho nsem obai na bi ma na modie na so obi anso ka ne de se ne a etie
Agyeiwaa no pay hot news platform yenhwe jese data egu ho se ne African countries na jese ya hyehye ebia ne cases awanya na afi so positive cases ebia obi anya cases ebia 4 na nkofo ewu kra be ye 3 na jese nipa 1 pe na ende wenya wetumi recover nti yenhwe data no na no pay na the edika no say percentage recoveries per positive cases among selected African countries. Na wo hwa Burkina Faso edikan. Burkina Faso edikan, na Ghana atoa so, Morocco, Senegal, Togo, Ivory Coast, South Africa, and after Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt. Na wo hwe Burkina Faso no mo 85.74%. Wo hwe Ghana ye was 76.24%. Uba Morocco 70.59%. Senegal 66.56%. Togo 66.18%. Ivory Coast 69.10%. South Africa 47.56%. Nigeria 40.39%. Kenya 30.35%. After Egypt 27.86%. Na chese eno ne ewo ho no. Na chese wo hwe we ya cases awanya no omo achese omo ho atumi ato na chese oba African countries na Ghana yetoso mienu na chese no eya asempa. Na yehwe ne etoa so na o say percentage death per positive cases among selected African countries. And I went to say cases awenya no omo wu no eno so eno no. Burkina Faso ekita 5.28%. Morocco ekita 1.64%. Senegal ekita 1.82%. Nigeria 2.23%. Egypt 4.49%. Kenya 2.02%. Ghana 0.61%. South Africa 1.61%. Togo 2.23%. Ivory Coast 0.63%. I just say omo no bano total cases now are recording na just Ghana you will form pa na just no so asempa
when African countries ni na Ghana ye na amanfo
enwu ye share cases na ye nya just 21,000 plus na just omo ewu no e wo fem pa na make say and also depa just plus cry e ma ye ntia no pay ye GA2 e wo ho. When so a percentage of positive cases per total test in selected countries. To say ye share send ya Ghana ha ye testing ni adendo ye de nya positive cases no and also na meba bebo so e de amount. Ye hwe Morocco mo 1.82%. Na just fitting keto ay kwa kesi mu. Togo e 2.06%. Kenya 4.26%. Ghana 6.72%. Senegal 8.77%. South Africa 11.4%. Ivory Coast 16.64%. Nigeria 19.15%. Egypt 56.46%. Burkina Faso 0.00%. Na chese no so emunsem no ntie no data eno so ho na yehwe ne atwa ato no kwa data no se percentage recoveries per positive cases among selected countries. There's some more about total cases na eno so ha. Burkina Faso ekita 85.74%. Ghana 76.24%. Morocco 70.59%. Senegal 66.56%. Togo 66.18%. Ivory Coast 49.10%. South Africa 47.56%. Nigeria 40.39%. Kenya 30.35%. Egypt 27.86%. And just COVID-19 cases no just say tisi ama ne ho no me so on say ba maybe na just ya to ya dwumo kra wo ho a ebi kra ka say ne ya bre COVID-19 ya bre COVID-19 enso no tisi ya COVID-19 mo nsem no just say adoso Yanto Studio na say we a press release by Drivers for Change. And also abide by the 15% increment in transport fares or face persecution. We humbly write to inform and remind commercial drivers to abide by the 15% increment in transport fares. We are very elated by the government decision to implement an option of our proposal presented by the GPRTU and other transport unions. A 10% increment in transport fares was effected as far back as September 2019, and it's a clear indication of government's intention not to overburden the ordinary citizen. Due to the impact of COVID-19, commercial drivers were asked to reduce the intake of passengers, and this has badly affected economic lives. This directive clearly was introduced to help improve social distancing protocols and reduce the spread of the virus and not otherwise. We should all bear in mind that the world at large is not in normal times, as this deadly pandemic has crippled almost all sectors of the economy. We are therefore being assured the government that transport fares will be pasted at the various transport terminals. Any commercial driver found flouting this directive should be dealt with accordingly by the law. We urge the police and the motor traffic regulators to ensure the strict compliance of this directive.
Just nanso na ene nso fufuro asan ba beto ni se ewo mu se lord friend ye wo matutum nanso e hyenkafo no ene nansa pra na bi hye ase tutum gidigidi enya nketwa nanso no ye hwemu a memenda ebe ene sese wo mu tutum nti e be sere hyenkafo no to na mo printesi a ye jetum se ye betum ti ye amoma ye ntwen so eduru memenda na yatum a passenger fo no so bi a na obi enim a dia ba beto dwane se mpo hwe de obon krata enu a ebi mu akotene wo hono mpa se ansa na ombeto fe nu no je se memenda eko nti ne se wabo ho this week dia e de obetumi afa ne sa na next week no efi memenda eko no afi wabo ho etua se ne ayatum
Sisa driver from so ma sonye den to kofa car sisa ne pepe se ne ebia 2 cedis a ene o de ahye ne nsem ni bi o de be show aba o de ni be show so ene I don't care cries ene wetu ewia na wetu na de ska kese ma ne de ene obetie fu bo hu na ada ne tokwa e wo car no muntia no so ye nhye ne nso yet also e won nsem ne mu de o say armed police were brought in on Tuesday, July 7, 2020 to restore order after students of KNUST Senior High School went on a demonstration over the death of one of their colleagues on campus. They accused school authorities of leaving the boy, who complained of stomach upset, unattended to for almost 3 hours in the care of his colleagues due to the fear of COVID-19. According to Laugh FM's Emeritus Asari Donko, Ghana cited the student died later at a health facility. News of the death of the business student sent the students on a rampage amid pelting of stones and breaking the windscreen of a saloon car which the headmistress drove to the school.
Just say the do kra wo bia nim say COVID-19. Just ye wo ho ikura ye hu nti eno ye normal obi ebebo obi bepru no so nya kwa yes ya ho ye COVID-19 eya bibi ni ade hian say ye bebo ye ho ban na ye moa ye ho se ne ebeye de betumi akwati ayare.
Nsem no so a na ye to as was member of parliament for Ningo Pampam constituency Samuel Jata George has said that it's a disaster for suggest that Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can compete with John Mahama's running mate Professor Jenano Pokwajiman. He made this statement to Ghana Web Minute after the opposition National Democratic Congress announced the former education minister as the running mate of their flag bearer. She was chosen over an all-male group of party penguins and unanimously approved by the party's neck as the historic first lady running mate of an NDC flag bearer. According to Sam George, it's erroneous to believe that Dr. Bawumia can match Jenano Pokwajiman.
Chese Bawumia na chese na anadie e say dey say akorafo no wo mu di say no bia so e de na no atum a chese wo kan semi bi ye hwe ni nyina no edu afimpinu ani edu no abato na Ghana fo obi akwakira de openo a ene ne edi behu nsem na sesi ade an ye say esama wo so ne no na obi a ekebia mfe wo so na ye di ni senti no enya ba ni sei ni de ye betwe ne sra ni abasasa na so hwebe December busumi no se akoto afimpinu ani edu no abato na ene ebehu se ne bibia esifa ebeko.
Nsem no mu na eguso say details reaching the Herald suggest that the deadly coronavirus pandemic has hit Ghana's judicial service, with some senior judges and their staff down on isolation and treatment. Reports are that there have been a series of COVID-19 tests at the Superior Court, including the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, during which some tested positive for the virus. Additional information available to this paper is that some courtrooms and offices located within the Law Complex building in Accra have been closed down.
the COVID-19 yare ni sɛnea ɛmka enim ohia enim sika enim ahokyere o baabi a ebowura hɔ ɛmfa ho sɛ wo de woyɛ mmranim ni woyɛ osubesia na ɔbɛntim obi a ɛkyerɛ ne senti na kɔba ne san so de ɛnkyerɛ sɛ ha na ɛbɛkyerɛ mo de ɛsi ekuro si hɔ no mo down na yɛtumi di nnuro petepete hɔ no na ɔma wo manya bi yɛ quarantine ɔmansa na bibia etumi akɔso.
Ɛno ɛyɛ hot news platform mo nsɛm na ahyɛ sɛ MATV yɛde som mo anɔpɛ ansa na yɛde ɔbɔkrata no kra yɛakɔhwɛ mu na ahyɛ sɛ no nso nsɛm a ɛdi ahim ne bi no kɔso a na ma wo messages no ɛmbra wo Facebook na afei so WhatsApp number no na yɛnka wo ma wo fɛfɛɛfɛ ha wadwenkyerɛ bi a ɛwɔ nsɛm a yɛbobɔ so yi ne yɛnkan ɛmfa ɛmma wo na yɛde ɔbɔkrata na ɛwɔ ansɛ ne ade bia yɛnim Daily Graphic, The Ghanaian Times na afei so Daily Guide mo nsɛm no nyinaa yɛde som mo ɛna anɔpɛ yɛhwɛ Daily Graphic front page na ɔsi 400 COVID-19 cases recorded daily ɛno mo nsɛm ɛwɔ ha President firmly in charge of state information minister and afei so President pledges support to Valentina Minte's ICC duties. WAEC releases WASI timetable, examination begins July 20 ɛno nso mo nsɛm ɛwɔ ha. Yeshare the Ghanaian Times now, senior minister tests positive for COVID-19 as Ghana's cases load reaches 21,968. And Musem Ewaha 13 final year SHS students in 4 schools test positive for COVID-19. Not just COVID-19 also a unity 500 SCSOS wants president to resign decision on them level. And Musem Ewaha TCH performs 540 fistula surgeries out of 600 cases. Wearing a mask and they don't eat with masks on. Ukoshe baby naturally so na say nkofo embe one way mask ne fefefe na afins we didi nye say be betwe ato ya body na ye didi no so eno no na afins don't attach phone to mask just also mask na aye man yemfa phone no entare so bia na we akofi so be sanitize phone no na wo sakosoma be ho na ni na wani na ni na baby a eni kwansa wo so COVID-19 yes na e ka no no ekwan abefa so enya kra no obesi dangerous nti aya na ya hwe na ya boy ho ban Daily Guide mu osi EC registered 2 million voters 1 week and also munsem ha senior minister is COVID-19 positive munsem ina ha baptism of fire great NDC running mate and also decent trend. This tells you that we are doing an average of 400 new cases a day, and that is something we really need to take caution and make sure we bring it down, he said. He said since Ghana recorded its first COVID-19 case in March this year, there had been 21,968 positive cases, out of which 17,156 people had recovered, leaving existing active cases of 4,683. Currently, we have 22 severe cases at our treatment center, 6 in critical condition, 5 unventilated, he said.
Just a Daily Graphic wakata no ene yede ehye asie amamu. Na COVID-19 yare emane homre so no. Tra na training senti Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaji ede nsem atubi a wo hwe se COVID-19 yare no ekoba ne se wo ma omanye bi no ye hwe omo ne omadi nhyiemu ni ade a chese ye contact tracing ya dodo na na enya yare bi a chese nipa ahanan na dakro no womu etumi enya bia wei ene ne ma esi ye ne ye ni ho na ye hwefa se COVID-19 yare no emma ne homle so wo man ga ne mu ase bo benim ebusuminum no tia na etrekwe wom se ebinum enya yare sade na so no ye hwese ne eniema ekọ na eni enya wona chesesi a wom yare no ano eden pa na omi enkofo aduonu mienu nchese 22 a ensia de ano eden pa enum empo eda ventilators so ne senti ese ye hwe na ye boa na etumi akutu ya yare ni ye pa
ye free page front page na face page 3 hwa na ye twa so ewo page 5 inside Africa or more intelligence needed to defeat Boko Haram. Greater cooperation and intelligence sharing is what is needed to successfully defeat Boko Haram terrorists in the Lake Chad region. A report by the International Crisis Group says the multinational joint task force drawn from regional states holds the key to tackling the Jude's threat. But so far, success has been limited, the think tank says. Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria, with the help of Benin, make up the multinational task force, which was formed back in 2015 after a growing realization that defeating Boko Haram required a collective response. 5 years on, it has approximately 10,000 uniformed soldiers.
So se ba ne se Boko Haram dia sene nneema ko ntokwa ne ade nche fasrafo ne ade sene nneema ko ne gusoa ekọ nenim sa na ehye ase no ba nte Islamic State ne West Africa province ne dia nipa mpempem pa na ewuchese thousands of people a womo mawun ani enya ne chichu ene North East Nigeria ne senti no esese womo ma wo mani da ho pa na womtumi eboa ema eniema esisi yi
Ka Boko Haram de na chese obi eso ne yebobo groups ye ne Al-Qaeda Boko Haram chese
uhu omontade no pa nchire se bibia ya yo
bibia ayo na u show mo phone so kra ne u show mo e wo phone so kra na owoye hwe wo yem crash na be eni obedwane se ne lockdown bo obi he eni amenda ni o share so just food media meda media na no so emu nsem no nti anto aso e wo page 7 na the editorial na the to aso see hit GMA's caution. When the Electoral Commission began the voters registration exercise, some Ghanaians expressed concern about strict compliance with the safety protocols to prevent further spread of COVID-19. But the EC gave an assurance that its COVID-19 response strategy was solid enough to ensure total compliance. However, while some of the centers have ensured that registrants adhere strictly to the protocols, the same cannot be said of other centers. This development has become a major source of worry, especially to the Ghana Medical Association (GMA), which has expressed serious reservation and it's even calling for strict enforcement of protocols through the coercive powers of the security agencies. The GMA is worried about the observance of all protocols that has been thrown to the dogs as a result of with the simple task of social distancing, the wearing of nose masks, the washing of hands, and the provision of alcohol-based sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol content at all times and as all centers are of relevance to the people. Much as we have to satisfy a constitutional requirement to register to vote every 4 years, the right to life comes before any other right. We therefore urge the EC to hit the call by the GMA so that our right to life is safely guarded.
Daily Graphic osemufo no na dwen na wachire e wo hase ni fa etoso enso no nsema wode ba NGS abato komisan ba se new voters registration eba beba so no mde nhihye bibre na egu akwan mu se ba ne se max a wo bia behye ye behwe se wo ho adodo ana se da afensu no eba nse sanitizer akọhọ edimu akotene pa ohanche mu edioso a enu bi enom di bedi dwuma wo honom sanso na chese ban max a wo behye social distancing mu bedi suni ade chese nhihye ne de bebre kwa na ekoba ne sa no yes share new voters registration aso ba kopi mo baby na chese social distancing wo ma bo ato akre baby kro mo nti se odogo bi kura enu abe no a na ekokos wo ye centers ahoro no enam so ma chese GMA fo kura ye Ghana Medical Association for esoriti ase abato komisa ye hwese ne amanfo eni nhihye ni ade so anka be ya nka ye ntwensensan na se enyi bibi e beboa na no no mo hwe nim se abato komisa ne mpanimfo ede ehu emu aye bi ebebe na osemufo ne so echese ebe ya nka abato komisa manje mensa ne mpanimfo wo muntie dia Ghana Medical Association for no eka no no mu fe ni dwuma ibise ye nkwa wo ehia papa se ne ebeye na ye nyina ye betumi atena se e wo nkwame ne asomdwe ni
Eje wan hwe nsem se ye Ghana fo na nkasa yaso nya din se ne ame ba se ye kwan no se je se omo niama gugu akwam se oba ha esa ha na gina mo buro ha se so a na chese mo amwa aka no mo betumi akwa ha reduce a na maba nso bi se na ye mpene da se bia tama meba so na bia line wo ho na me ba bedi so nte du wo na chese ntokwa ekoso wo ho bia so nte ase so bia person for so no ko de okoye registration e ba ne sa so a na ye hu se ye nkwa na ye didi agro no nte no so
ene kra ka me fa ye na etinchiri bia kopiem wo poku ase amasama won senior high schools na wo ho no say suafo no wo mo nenam kuruma de market ni ade wo mo hye max o na mate ni ba ti obi be fo ni hye no bo madu ta say na max we aban hye bi ama mo no mo hye no na wo mate ni wo de fa say na wa bodwe ase hwesuani no na samoye na so bi nya bia na afi na nti ese yan sankasa ene ye boye ho be ne ka me fight say wo bia na ya mafo nyi ndi say yare no wo so man sansan na de wo mu gidi pa say yare no wo na mate ni no watwe ne de na mse mate wo kasa hwefa kosro na ye nyina ye nkwa ho e de ye hia ya ansa no twe e de kata na
so obi kasa yare ni nu hwa na me bisa me ho say opese e chi onu an kasa na so opese chi ebusuani bi ansa na waje di ana so opese say na opese ohun say yare no ho ana say bi mo kasa ne yemfa omo wu no e bia yemfa omo beto omo dan ano dia say semre dia odwe ho a yenti asenso ye hu say covid-19 no wo ho covid-19 is very real no yemfa hyehyɛ na omo dia to kwan bra ye register say beto aba December we chese 2020 afi mu no na yen kai say yem kwanso ehu hia say ne osemufo de ba with daily graphic the editorial mu no yen so aso e won nsem ne mu a Melbourne returns to lockdown as cases surge eno e wo page 9 of daily graphic 5 million residents of the Australian city of Melbourne have been told to stay at home for 6 weeks amid a surge in coronavirus cases. Victoria State Premier Daniel Andrews announced the lockdown after the state saw 191 new infections, its highest daily number since the pandemic began. The state borders with its neighbors New South Wales and South Australia will close within hours. Australia has recorded almost 9,000 cases and 106 deaths from the virus, but almost all new cases have been in Victoria.
Nchirese we yare covid-19 enye Ghana ha nkwa nchirese aye wu akopiem e Australia so yade a edi ehim e wo ho no mo pa na senti na eba ne se lockdown ni ade na achese ade a wo mo de ba be obi a ebetine fie na wotwe ensia chese 6 weeks na omde ahwe senia enyema ebesi fa akọ no no eba ne se residents amakomako 5 million pipinum na wo mo betine fie ewo Victoria State onum se ne ebeye na wo mu betumi de ekwati ya na ni nyina ne se yare no mo record de na so de beton fufuro kra ne se da krope wo mo da sore ya new cases no 191 chese o ha ene ye de okrono baako na wo manya na chese yare yade ya epim ko ne ni senti no eba se wo ma hye no krempo a wo mo tutum se ne ebeye na wo mu betumi akwati ya na yare nche ase wo de cases o ma record no chese impem nkono afi so wo mo mato na no bonse de cases mu no oha eni insia enu ti na akoba ne se dia ye die kia ne kese se wo mo de lockdown bi ehihye so wo
yen to ansem no so page 9 ho covid-19 majority testing positive have no symptoms. Only 22% of people testing positive for coronavirus reported having symptoms on the day of their test, according to the Office for National Statistics. This hammers home the importance of asymptomatic transmission, spread of the virus by people who aren't aware they are carrying it. Health and social care staff appear to be more likely to test positive. This comes as deaths from all causes in the UK fell to below the average for the second week in a row. Between the end of March and June, there were 59,000 more deaths than the 5-year average.
Grata any feto so enkron no ehwa na yekusu na na covid-19 yare ze dia ba betu jan se yare na ya chirewa se ne kan de obeti hiti na chese de abasa kata ye fure ni ade na de kuhu enu ewa unyate hiti anase ewa ekoso as nwana no chirese we mo hyehyɛ wo pe baabi afa ha na ne de ntesa akra wo mo test positive ni nyina enye ewa na enye nwinsi enye se wofuru mu eso ni hwe na emom no symptoms no bi okra emu pie no ho a ebeda di na so no ba ko test no na wa test positive afenso na wo hu enye wo ho ebedo do nkwa symptoms ne de bebre na ebeka obi won so a wo nhwo mu bia na so na yahwe ni bi ewo ni wudi nti enko so a na yembo ye ho ban se na ebetumi akwatia covid-19 yare no
ene se na ndo ade na kan sisia no ese hu se ene de oban wo bio ene kwa se we de ene ombo wa and your cousin in we and the not just a COVID-19 onye bi COVID-19 ho a na eguso ebo ho da wonti yen kai na yen boy ho bai na obepiem dia fada dexen na gloves ye hye ne dedende a chese all my chance cry chese obo no ho bai ankasa e ho hia se esese ye boy ho bai
se esese obo ho bai te se de egu hia nya bi sesi a ebi a obi se cha asenya bi a onya bi nso mintumi nkyere eti se mi ni di kita o hwenti omo wane ade no me so ebetumi assignment sese de wona ma wunu a obehia no wanafo na hwan bi obusua ni kura fa ne se wanya yare ni bi na bon ho ba no pe na sese ebetumi aye na mo ka se we de amia mi nian o we de amia mi anti wonya bi wote ho no ma na kyerɛ se ne ma afa wasinti ema omoden a ne ye mo ye ho ba yin fi yare no na ne ya de ye de bo na se mo mu se ne a wo be mi as na ne ya wo pe den wo me dex so pa cho
sisi aje me se me ben wo kra
sisi a ti so obi a wanya yare ni bi sa na ye be ne nti sa de a ya so be
shepa yan to ansem no so pay 13 gender Rebecca Foundation hands over libraries to communities. The Rebecca Foundation has handed over 2 libraries to the people of the Dafiama Buse Issa district in the Upper West region and Wenchi in the Bono region. The libraries are part of our libraries constructed by the foundation in parts of the country to inculcate the habit of reading in school children to improve their learning skills. In a statement read on her behalf, the Executive Director of Rebecca Foundation and First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Mrs. Rebecca Na Okanko Ekufu-Addo, acknowledged the contribution of the current New Patriotic Party administration in prioritizing education with various policies such as free education and restituting allowances for teachers' trainees to improve the ability of young Ghanaians to effectively propel national development. She, however, demonstrated the inability of many children to read and write as a result of factors such as limited access to reading materials, which she said adversely affected the children's ability to learn.
Che secretary ni fight so du miensa no Rebecca Foundation adoye ne de wo mo ye pan ne wo masa akoye adoye na ban say Rebecca Foundation executive director ne che first lady Ghana her first lady for the Republic of Ghana Mrs. Rebecca Nana Ekufu-Addo na che Ghana mampani Nana Ekufu-Addo wono ankasa ne hukani ni chocho mucho ne foundation o makwa akoye adoye na adoye no womukoye ewo Bruno Mantem na afen so Upper West Mantem a library ye bi e de moma no ubesua asa na ahwe library na na ne ya
papa chese e kwan de demo hwa kunya na obeka say flesh fresh papa ba chese
ye nuano no mo ne omo
ne obeka flesh minim say ye na ma afen de dey free fridge mo dia
we ma wakoma kura to yem say kona kon kenkan moma na so wutiri mo mope nti we ya de papa
na omo bio mo so amanya say bi omo ukọ na de ugbohu books bi na de pictures wom na obi to be share pictures way of sunsuo na way of konti omo fanya desia omo fa book na omo share pictures na afi so omo kan nseme wo se na da na akoma so a wo de si libraries no omo so e man ndo makoma ndo makoma so no mo so ensua de wo de wo sua de class mi sua de ama no ba ne sa na wo ko wani kwa beka se
na ade abobra
yanto ansem no so e wo page 60 not the president family in charge of state information minister President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is firmly in charge of the running of the state in spite of being in self-isolation after getting exposed to a coronavirus positive person. The Minister of Information, Mr. Kwadwo Oponkroma, said is the bi-weekly national update on the disease yesterday that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had been conducting affairs from the presidential villa at the Jubilee House using technology. Mr. Oponkroma thanked Ghanaians for their best wishes for the president. On Saturday, July 4, 2020, the Minister of Information issued a press statement announcing that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had gone into a 14-day precautionary self-isolation compliant with COVID-19 protocols after a person in his inner circle had tested positive for the disease.
Krata ne fa etosudunsia na sisi ayehuri de akogina no Ghana mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo osofo ohwe oman yi yen amanebo nsem so owura kojo oponkro ma de nsemba betu dwafa no hu na no memenda na wo kire se mampani na na dan kwakufa do covid-19 yare man hom so mpanimfo bi enya bi wo man mu no mampani so eniom enya nkitahudi anaso woni wom edi ehie mi senti no na esefata se otsene ho wom se wo test ye no eye negative de na so no ebeboa se wo beten ho na mpo na kobansa wo sa ko test na positive anko sai afoforo eno no de aba betodwa wo kire se wom se mampani atene ho de na so no mampani egusu ebo adwuma eno no po abefu fidie so aha kese wo bo adwuma kama se ne omanyi yensem nyina na ase adwumadi nyina ebetumi apem akonanim ne kwa ne yekoso efa yento mapa efrasa wo man
Yento ansem no so ewo page 6 was to bring back Dom Level campaign launch. The coalition of more than 500 civil society organizations, CSOs, a non-governmental organization has launched a nationwide campaign against the directive by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to the Auditor General Dr. Danoya Dom Level to proceed on his accumulated leave. In a campaign that bring back Dom Level, the coalition, which comprises the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the Center for Democratic Development, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, the Institute for Democratic Governance, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, and the over 400 members of the CSOS platform on the Sustainable Development Goals called on the President to reverse the proceed on leave decision in the interest of accountability and democratic governance, led by the Executive Secretary of the GIA, Ms. Linda Ofori-Kwafu, the Executive Director of the GACC, Mrs. Beauty Mmefanati, the Executive Director of IDEC, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, the Country Director of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, Mrs. Wilmina Mensah, and the Executive Director of ISEF, Mr. Ben Boachi. The CSOS said the action was to protect the independence of the Auditor General and indeed all state independent institutions.
Yewura Dom Level no ene banteketa se hye kankan proye ni dwuremudi a na wudimu akutena wo hwese bibia ebetumi atoto di na wo bante wo ye keta se hye na se bibisa wo betumi akyerew ne yede wo afa emra kwanso na na watchka kende beto dwa se wokọ ahomegye mu kyese ono so wokọkọje na home kakra na wosan ba be ye ensem de jane no na the coalition 500 civil society organizations womaka women affairs non-governmental organizations NGOs womadan bibia di fufuro kro mo kire se no womusan ehia Dom Level back wansamra na womra metwa na adwuma so
Momo obi kwan so onkoje na home ose onje na home ombreye
ko leave na ne ya
ose ombreye
ase wochina ko leave amanta
aye ntimfi mepe mu ana
there be say we leave there ye ntimfi mepe mu
nse meko
enti se obeko
ono ose ompe eso se da bi oso se wo pe na so se wo pe
pesa obeye adwuma na afa break na afa obi en ho
ose wa hode anopa bi okojo again se no honam sisi no ho so a otumi nante kra
do musa kwaje wa homia ompe we na apeden bi
eno so monsam eno no dia yeto aso e wo page 17 politics. Also, Commander Queen Mother's Hill Professor Opoku Agyeman's nomination. The paramount Queen Mother of the Commander traditional area, Nana Agyeiwaa II, has lauded former President John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress (NDC) for choosing Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman as the running mate for 2020 general election. She expressed optimism that with Professor Opoku Agyeman as the Vice President of Ghana, the Commander Sugar Factory will work again and Commander will take its position on the industrial map. A statement signed and issued by Nana Bedu said Professor Opoku Agyeman's nomination presented a unique opportunity to make the future possible and accessible for women.
Daily Graphic the Obokrata and the Yegusu Ejina so nefa eto sudunso no I Commander for wo Queen Mother oba hema ewo honom Nana Agyeiwaa bedu a otosu mienu wokyeremu dia Ghana mampani de da John Dramani Mahama apa Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman de ya de papa ebeboa na obo na bason so pese ba ne sempo Commander Sugar Factory na ebesan afane nto mapa efura wo mugidi se bibia ebetumi akosoto nti ono so oma Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman wo manimo eni ejuma omra emebo ejuma se nia ese efata.
Yɛnto aso ɛwɔ page 17 was the Central Regional NDC congratulates Professor Opoku Agyeiwaa. The Central Regional Branch of the National Democratic Congress has commended the decision by former President John Dramani Mahama to select Professor Nana Opoku Agyeiwaa as the vice presidential candidate. A statement signed and issued by the regional chairman of the party, Mr. EKT Ado, said, "Indeed, this is a victory for inclusive and participatory democracy and a thorough demonstration of real affirmative action." Mr. Ado said the selection could not have come to any better time than this, when the political atmosphere of the country was so polluted with so much baseless and needless interpretation and aggression. Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeiwaa, without any fear of contradiction, comes to the table with real feminine ambience, proving competence and personal integrity. She is an extremely affable and calm personality with distinguished academic and public service records, he said.
Chesa baso body any de wubuo kosa kasa efeto so dunso ehwa na yegusu ejina no na NDC amanyofo wona bobo infinfin mantem ne de wo mo kire de Professor Opoku Agyeiwaa na anaji na yade a wabo adwuma pan fe na bakosem niema waye ne ade a na wono nso wo sefata dibre amampani dida John Dramani Mahama de amani nti ehwe ni say abatu afipi no na edunu abatu bibia ebeko so na afi yehu sani a eniema ebeko
ase wiase mankasa woje abaso bode kakra na chese yesen bu abam kakra ewo ho wunya ni nyina say 100% ye ubechem 50-50
enyo bia na bepe wasemuti so
nti ano de abaso bode en de beba na omoso omde beba nso no so ebeba. Page 18 politics ni mwani buso CPP news new direction. An aspiring General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, CPP, Mr. Agyeiwaa, last Monday said the party should use election 2020 to rally support and charter a good path in rebuilding and rebranding the party. He said to ensure we have representation in next parliament, our presidential candidates shall be utmost advocates for rebuilding upon the foundation of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Mr. Agyeiwaa told the Ghanaian news agency in an interview in Accra, saying the building of the foundation of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah through the CPP must begin from the human resources. He said having a good account of party membership and building their capacity to deliver the objective for national agenda, we need to recruit over 700,000 active members and train them to facilitate the needed ground mobilization to win as per.
Naturally, say we dia wojirem say churchofo pani de ama CPP amanyoko no ra akwadwo aferiebo a na ode nsema to jo akire say CPP amanyoko ndie wo mo so wo ba ebeyi ebi papa wo bra wo Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah na wote egua so no ne senti no ne die esese wo mtumi yen sakra ni ade a wo mo so wo betumi afom ntoma pa efra se ne beye na eba ne say ye to aba ne ade a wo mo so wo mo betumi edi nkunim na ne say mu nti esese wo mtumi nya ye members by 700,000 actually some young fancheche mu ni ade bebre se ne ebeboa na CPP ebesan afa ne ntoma pa efra se ne Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ehya ase no
Now Shanko for say more employment 700,000 na say and e be train you obia say hey when you first one and the CPP yan so ye betumi aba bedi o man so nti na say omo train you omo papa when you 700,000 na say omo ni abre ne aba yan so ye bedi o man so bi and also mo nsem no pay 32 and I dey to as student loan trust release fund for disbursement. The Student Loan Trust Fund SLTF has released 9.1 million Ghana cedis for onward disbursement to students in tertiary institutions across the country. In all, about 6,000 students are expected to benefit from the fund. The head of public relations of the SLTF, Mr. George Ferguson Lane, who made this known in an interview with Daily Graphic yesterday, said the release has brought the total amount dispersed for 2019-2020 academic year to 42.9 million Ghana cedis. The SLTF continues to receive fresh applications from students for the academic year, and all this application will be proceed as and when they receive them, he said.
Ban say student loan trust fund ya students loan trust fund ya ehyasie December busumi no e wa fimpinu ene enum no na ehye ase no aboa pa masuafo no bebre na etumi enyalo na ne nyina chi no wonso wuwie ye wusuafo na aha na kire se wetumi etu achese no no eboa esuafo ni ye papa na ne ye hwe krata ne fa etosu eduonu se ahyase no me kan ho asem kitikiti binti yankwa krata no daily graphic de bo krata ya ne fa etosu eduonu no na yenka ensem kakran so ho na no transport fares to go up by 15% from Saturday ebia na fe na wo bi di ato ha na ono so yemu ni enchiremu kama mam.
Yeah, share page 20 they'll say transport fares to go up by 15% from Saturday. Transport fares are to be increased by 15%. It's effective from Saturday, July 11, 2020. This was the agreement reached following a meeting convened by the Transport Ministry and other stakeholders yesterday. The Deputy Transport Minister, Mr. Titus Glover, who chaired the meeting, said to move was to caution drivers who continue to bear the brunt of impact of COVID-19 pandemic. He said the government appreciated the challenges and was ready to always help road on a conscious, thus giving consideration to requests of drivers. We appreciate the impact of COVID-19, the need to adhere to social distancing in public transport have hurt the transport business, but we hope people will go by the agreed increments and to do things as they wish, he indicated.
Nti we krata ne fa etoso eduonu no hyenkafo nten ye wo mututu na krata kra de ba ya wo kyerkyere se ba ne se madina ekosek na wo mu printer ye printer de bobo ehyin me de wo trem anu wo se
we number betia
wo mo mpa wo mo asem bi a kyese wo kwa no 4 cd 70 pesos kyese akukọ nanim a sika na na omoji no ano eden pampo madina ede koka nation no anka na force the 60 pesos afa di wom se ye beje 5 cedis a chese wo mututututu ma ebu wa 50 pesos ni ade no mbi atumedi ofi atomic kura be adwuma ma se ya ye di 50 pesos atoso 3 cedis aha ye je o kama ebi wo kra 80 pesos 1 cd 2 cedis no mbi atoso ne senti enra wo mu kwa ye GPRT fo mu ko ekokohia ye Ghana Transport Union wo mu ko ekokoye nhyem na bro mu kokoye nhyem no ena owura Titus Glover no or deputy transport minister or den sem no etutu jom hwehwe niema wakuni nom se a COVID-19 yare ba yesi mo nye social distancing wo ehyen ahugum se na ebeye yibetumi akwati ayare no kra ehyen kafo bibiri na ena ediso fu won so yato mo penti se makasa de a ye bra yegusu twendwe niema na se butum a ense emfatasa muntumi nya no prekopesa ne senti no esesi ade mu betumi atomo kra efimemende ekono wo hanche mu dunum ena mode beto so enti we wuntumi nkoye ne 20% wuntumi nkoye 30% 16% kra ensesa wodie no se wo hwe me ano pe ya de meka ne se efimemende ekono ena ye tutum eno no eye 15% o hanche mu dunum ti memede ekono de wubia eya aboa ho ye papa se ne beye na bibia pekoye we no eba ne se taxi trotro ehyen akese ne ade na wo mu nyina obia etum eye 15% na enye ka enketo akwa ka bia etum 15%.
Na me so mpa ho asema no wa pro sika pro se bia betua 2 cedis a ene o de ahye ne nsa na ne wo kọ weni mesi age aha na o de ama no na ne wo kọ weni
but La Paz be de mebo ma baspa ifi se juada no mtum ne fi La Paz ede ba chese we atomic de share mefe bia deda na na omoje na wo pon na wo kon so eno anom ji na emom no ifi atomic ede ba no se wambo a ho na kokodu a wo ye den wo mo ntintie ya minim so se fi La Paz e ba na ya me mo de nsise ni mu nti dia ba wo se nkogu okra de ma obeka se madam ensu yo aha but we no wo mum sa hwe me share that the coins na egueti no kura to so ma wo nti chese nyina ye mbobo enwe ye memenda ena entumu no ehase yen kai na yen hye ne nso
na ndo ahwe comment na ebi ba akra chese ebi o ha 2 cedis 3 cedis e dia to so say gbai
enra me sorry to me spend na chese binu mo frɛ masofo bi nom se aba ebo modiam yen sanka GPLT for customer for no enam be se obepiem wala pass station ha se ya sanya nyema ekɔ no eni enyan pa na eja me se de modiam an bo bi ebefu ababia me de be mom me de me mom ma na de om so se ye be frɛ ne yɛsan ayɛ nhwɛmu bi nti yɛmmoa de aba beto dwan sɛ yɛ mmemmenda yɛ nyina yɛ ndi so ebi obi mmoa no na wɔtwe ɔboa no ho esi se nti yɛmmoa boa ho na mmemmenda ne hu sɛ afei ɛna yɛtu mu ha nkyɛmu dunum no
Yɛnto asɛm no so ɛwɔ page 32 ni page 33 hɔ na ɔse WAEC releases WASI timetable. Examination begins July 20. The West African Examination Council WAEC has released the timetable for the August 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASI. The timetable, which has been submitted to the Ministry of Education, is expected to begin on Monday, July 20, 2020, with project work for visual arts candidates, while the theory papers will start from August 3, 2020 until September 5, 2020, when a 5-week-long examination will be brought to an end with principles of course accounting and technical drawing. In an interview with Daily Graphic, the head of the Ghana National Office of WAEC, Mrs. Wendy Enyonam Adi Lamte, said that the deadline for the WASI had already been agreed on with the Ghana Education Service, and so the timetable was to guide the students in their preparation. In all, 60 subjects made up of 4 core and 56 selective subjects had been made available to the candidates. The subjects cover the 7 programs offered at the senior high schools, namely General Arts, General Science, Business, Agricultural Science, Visual Arts, Home Economics, and Technical.
Eti we hwie besuafo no mumpew ensohwe no mobetwro enti krata ni fa eto so aduasa mienu ene aduasa miensa no no ensem na omde yaba na kire bia eye wasi ensohwe na ye ba betwro na ehya ase July busumi ne da eto so aduonu na no na ehya ase nde echese eba na se bom abom ye general art general science afensu business agricultural science visual art na afensu home economics and technical na dia eyade a wo mu nyina wo mo ba abetro wasi insohwe na ye hwe dia subjects no na eye eduasia na so emu enan eye course service emu eduonu ensia eye electives nti wo mo yiro mo ensia de pan fa ho ne covid-19 wasi ne de mo betro
Yɛntoa so ɛwɔ page 33 ɔse attach seriousness to COVID-19 fight. Catholic bishops. The Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference GCBC has asked the people to attach more seriousness to the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. It said developments so far indicated that many people were not concerned about the spread of the virus and the damage it was causing in the country. It mentioned, for instance, the high level of disregard for the observance of COVID-19 protocols at the recently held New Patriotic Party parliamentary primaries, the ongoing voters registration exercise, last Monday event to announce the running mates of the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress at the party's headquarters in Accra and some other public gatherings, saying since as those programs left much to be desired.
Kata ni fa eto so aduasa miensa na yigina no na Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference no awom de nsema ba betu bia wom chese COVID-19 yare e ba ye ase ebinum edidi akoro ne ade bi ni senti no sam radio esese ye hwe ni yie papa ese yare no de bia be sorry na chese wo bi ntu anana no mo nse edo an chese cases new ones aba be ka new ones so enye onipa ba ko nipa mienu do so papa nsenti yehwe yehusu ye pa ne ndi hihye nyina so se ne yebetimi akwati COVID-19 kudi wo yare.
If coronavirus moves and seminar on page 43 near day to us was offense to regain status as leading cocoa producer. The newly elected New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for the Offensive South constituency in the Ashanti region, Dr. Agyeiwaa, has predicted that Offensive will soon regain its status as a leading cocoa producing area in the country. Dr. Opoku, 62, is a renowned agrochemist and executive director of the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana. He made the prediction in an interview with Daily Graphic at Offensive, where he unveiled his plans for the constituency should he become the member of parliament for the constituency in the upcoming general election.
Chesekrate ni fa etoso eduanai miensan akopem ewo Offensive de awom chirim dia Dr. Agyeiwaa NPP primaries ne course na chirese wono na Offensive South constituency na ewo Asante Mantem no woginem edema na nsem odi tudwa nyina ne se ba ne se koko ni ade omudua na kyese wo mu di mu akotene pa koko a kyese opiani betwa no ebetene nye koko ketwa na so ene se eye agensem enkoyie sa eno na o kyere se koko afi de wo mu dua koko man ebeboa pa ma kyese opiani ne bags na wo bednya no ebedoso ye papa udue ka bags ni se 30 pro betumi anya be 50 bag of cocoa.
Yentua in Semnimo government distribute PPE to BEC schools and no our page 44 of Daily Graphic. Professor Pokwa Mankwa, total of 2,197,853 nose masks have been distributed to basic schools in the country preparing final year students for the Basic Education Certificate Examination BEC staff and examination personnel. Additionally, 732,451 liters of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, 90,020 liters of liquid soap, and 90,020 tissue papers have been distributed to the schools to be used by students, staff, and the examination personnel of the school. 45,010 Veronica buckets and 39,944 pieces of thermometers has also been distributed to schools for the use as part of efforts of government to ensure that candidates follow the COVID-19 protocols. The Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kessewaa Mankwa, who gave the statistics, said the PPE were distributed to all the 17,439 schools throughout the country that were preparing their final year students for the exams.
Na kyese krat any fa etoso aduanan ennan no ensem eban say BC for no one BC etwone nuanum DHS for no Professor Opoku Amankwa de atodua wo kire say amban aye hihye pa the PPE personal protective equipment aye de ebo ye ho ban for COVID-19 for the wo yare hu wakoma esuafo ni bi pa na eno no eba ne say nose mask 2,197,853 nose masks and our day aquacum sanso and a sanitizer and also ebi eka ho Veronica bucket ni ade ombebom ho ban efi yare hu na ya chichebie ede ama wo
Yentua so ewo 49 ewo Daily Graphic mu ho no say a lot space airtime to road safety issues. GJA president. The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Mr. Ronald Afomone, has appealed to both the traditional and the new media to allot ample time and space to educate the masses on road safety. He said a number of lives were being lost on a daily basis due to road crashes, and there was therefore the need for the media to channel their energies into road safety campaigns to minimize the road accidents. Addressing journalists at a workshop in Kumasi yesterday, Mr. Mona urged the media to give issues of road accidents the needed attention to help reduce accidents on the roads. Not just a crowd, a yasha said that Ghana is watching a share a council, some not just a more trade their media no say your boy on home more day. Send your bay na accident, a coso, a way your quano sono, just a back home sem. Na anua brass if sisi ade en obeta na hwe gban en e car akobom en e driver ye hwa na oda
sa pepepe won se enu akwasa nseni ebepie mu ewo krowa krata enu ma na ye ka se ba de se ka kwencha na se de o money seat belt ni ade potholes ni ade no na chese o mani eba be kon pe se ye hwa dodo na ehwro mo nkwa enam ka kwehye nti ese ye hwe ne ye kwan so nsem no bia etume ekoto tene no president Edema GJ Ghana Journalists Association no de adesredi ekoye se beye na enkyerkyere no ye bebo ho de group ye be enkyerkyere se ne be na ka kwehye ni betumi akweti na abepiem ewo MATV di ye no ya hye dwumadi esonkokora no ye Ghana is watching na chese Ghana ehwe wo hwe me so me hwe ye hese ne a enema ekọ oman mu nia ekoyie ene nia enkoyie nyina yede ye ka ho asene ye ka de enkoyie nkwa ye ka de ekoyie ene nia enkoyie nyina na yetumi afa ye ntoma pa efra bitase ye kwanso nsem etisen ye na hunidie ho nsem etisen afinso ehwe Ghana hase ya ehwehwofuo bi abo ama Ghana ye drum pempenso a ye dure wo mo no ye forgotten hero Samre wo machira kwan ewa hemfampo ena omo da esi ehwe wo machira kwan na de sefata bia no ye edema wom nenenso Ghana is watching ye the better was when you enunum gidigidi wo benya bi ahwe ewo MATV na eba na Facebook a MATV afen so Instagram MATV uko YouTube dia Marvelin House Limited sanso na entertainment port eno nso enanwumre ya no nso ebo a ye de no nso ebe hihye so e de ma okama
Agyeiwaa letter bi aba chese yemfa entwem na afi yensanko nsem ne mu dia say Office of the Chief Director memo to all staff and Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, Coordinating Directors, Technical Advisors from Chief Director, date 7 July 2020, subject temporary working from home arrangement. Reference is made to an ongoing testing exercise of staff of the Ministry of Finance who are working on site. While we wait for the testing team to compile the comprehensive results, all staff are to work from home effective immediately. Staff who test positive will be duly informed and receive the necessary care from the appropriate health authorities designated by the Ministry of Health. In addition, the necessary contact tracing will be undertaken by the appropriate authorities. Staff will be duly informed about the appropriate date to return to the office to work. In view of the preparation towards the mid-year review of the budget, a core team of staff will work from approved allocation to complete the mid-year review. All other staff will work from home using the ministry-approved digital channels. We continue to strongly advise staff to adhere to the safety protocols which have been put in place by the ministry to ensure protection and staff, including washing of hands with soap and under running water at the hand washing station which has been provided, or no mask, no entry mask up campaign remains in force and is now backed by the executive instrument. In addition, sensitization, education of staff on the protocols, limiting of face-to-face meetings, and use of digital channels for meeting, among other safety initiatives, will continue to be implemented. The ministry remains committed to protecting staff and ensuring your health and safety, and will continue to ensure adherence to the protocols while carrying out mandates. I entreat all staff to stay safe and observe the protocols wherever you go. Signed, Patrick Numo.
no Ministry of Finance one of the insane yaba eba ne say COVID-19 yare man humre so na obeti osumesi enya bi wo bentin enya bi na wo bra wo so wo test na yekoso nsesi ade ne aba betop no so ne se bo mo be ye adwuma efiefifi mid-year budget no a esese o mo de ba betu dwa no wo be di hu dwuma na so wo be di dwuma efiefifi eba na abefo fidie so o mo be fa edi dwuma na asa pepepe eno be nti o mo wo fie mu so na o mo ebo adwuma se na ebe ye na o mengi sika se be betumi akostote na so o mo kai wo mo se womun kosua eni enhihye ne so eba ne se COVID-19 nhihye di egu akom se obi enhye ne mask won horo ne nsa wonsu a etene ase no fa samno a enhoro afi won sanitize ne nsa womun tetete omo internet dia obi biara endi so na boa ama COVID-19 yare ne nyina yetumi abre na se
Agyeiwaa ye free enomo nsem na yen share story bi a chese what back page of the Daily Graphic na bra me hu enfi amode ama papa we me bufu ye kwan fi se endorso was father jailed 7 years for chopping off daughter's leg. The Agunas Red Rose Circuit Court has sentenced a 37-year-old man residing at Kojo Ama near Agunas Red in the Central Region to 7 years imprisonment for chopping off the right leg of his 2-year-old daughter. The convict Mawulibusu pleaded not guilty to the charge of causing harm and use of offense weapons. He was, however, found guilty by the court presided over by Mr. Jonathan Numo. He was also ordered to pay a compensation of 6,000 Ghana cedis to his daughter. The facts of the case, as presented by the prosecution led by the Inspector Charney Salia, were that in December 2019, a confrontation issued between Bosu and his wife, Joanna Mamo Bosu, which turned violent and eventually led him to chop off his daughter's right leg.
Yeah, me hu nsem say ya wo mu won se ne no ameka no na
7 years pe
what did them
7 years we twa ne nan wo no yire nyantopa wo tumi hwe wo banim e de sekan etwa ne nan say tim ato baabi wan kasa wo ye mu ba a chese wa wo no watwa ne nan ato baabi na chese wo pese se no nante ebufo men kra na chese ebeba wo so a ebeka wutim kwase wankasa wo ba we mpo de enye se ebi obi ba mpo na abetena ne nche ebeka se ebi a wotan bi anase we wa wo ba wo no yire nya
Nenye obakra wetwa ma wuli ukoda na efie enso de ma mfie de osono plan kan fo aso na ne ya ye nto aso ntentem
Abusanfo mo go so amohwe morning break medie e wo MATV so MATV sene e kan de oni amapanko a e de ma onene a newspaper review na just July 8 2020 sama e di ehim bill e na ye bobo so e de ama ye kai se global sky security e na offense learners homes e na e so ya sen se kan global sky security se wo hu se security hu ne ama bia de omo e wo bia ba ne CCTV cameras electric fence after so tracking devices any American so be area kind of track am system we expert omo training omo ho ankasa after so fire alarm system then ye be ye na obebo wo fie wadwuma ho ban free eja hihye bia ho and also omo wo be after so security officers de ye training omo a chese omo nimde ai ba na security ho ne am bia de omo wo bi no global sky security and after so just say eba na security ho ne amabia de a ene ewu ni ha okrafo wani che global sky security officers achese meka say omo training omo ankasa enya de oba abeda se ne de bia meka enya de oba abeda o ese securities ni bebre ne obekọ ena Agyeiwaa twire mu say ene ohene na just woda ne ebekọ so ofie okro ni hu bi tira meka say fa ho edam global sky security omo ena ebetumi aboa from I was 0302522503 0302522503 Global Sky Security. Almost someone is always watching. And our friends so Learners Homes Construction Company Papa Pan about Learners Homes almost so dying at the amount say a hospital and our person will see so office be and our person will see school and our person will see one casa would die our person with them and our friends so restaurant be our person will see just say a banner down when you're making Nadia make and full Learners Homes Construction Company Papa Pan at the mouth from also I was 0302 544 708 0302 544 708 and no a Learners Home Construction Company make I say construction company papa pa o de o dan bi and as a office bi hye ne saso munsia and enye de obeba na edan achia edan anwenese da bi enye no bia ntifo aho edan mo from na woni omo kasa na afi so omo ntume emboa ya kai se kwaso anema messages no embra e wo ye Facebook na face WhatsApp number na ye se na make say ya etade ma no hu we na wo de afa ho na ya kenkan e de amount ye toa ensem no mu de na chese the Ghanaian Times so e na ye dru bia ye de daily graphic akwa good na the Ghanaian Times so e na ye toa so de a page 4 e na ye de share aba ye share e wo editorial say obstetric fistula is debilitating to womanhood, one of the major health challenges facing women in the country, which appears to be a silent issue, through very debilitating is obstetric fistula. According to reports, the OBF is one of the most devastating medical disabilities affecting women in their reproductive age across their reproductive disease were the most prevalent in the developing countries, including Ghana. A conservative estimate that are between 711 and 1,352 new cases of OBF developing in Ghana each year, putting the incidence of OBF at 1.8%, 1,000 births in Ghana. The report on the burden of obstetric fistula in Ghana, co-authorized and published by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and the Ghana Health Service, says the medical condition is commonly caused by obstructed or prolonged labor. Ghanaian Times also appeals to both the UNFPA and the government to address challenges facing the hospital to be able to render improved health care to the public.
Just krata ni fa etoso enan Ghanaian Times ko akrata na ye de etwa so amam na obi afiare we kira amafo bibiri na no ye prolong labor se wo labor no ten na ka ho na obi afiare etre na ntisu ye emmem we ha won adwen papa no na wosamufo eje na adwen kire eba mo a wo kire se eba nse TCH a ewo mo ebo adwuma pan na obi healthcare no wo mo boa se ne beye na ye betumi apoatia nanso no wo mo sre pa se beye a nka UNFPA fo ene aban wo mo mo pa se wo mo mra ayaresabia horo no no mo ye wo mo ase ne beboa na wo mo betumi apoatia ne ba ne se healthcare na wo mo etumi abo adwuma se ne ese efata.
Yet also our page 4 say was EC improves social distancing protocols at voters registration centers. Adherence to social distancing protocols at voters registration centers in the Greater Accra metropolitan area has been witnessed following the institutionalism and implementation of queue management system by the Electoral Commission. The improvement, according to the registration officers, has facilitated the increase in the daily rates of card issue to prospective voters. A tour by the Ghanaian Times yesterday to the Okankwe South District showed that there have been progress in observing physical distancing among individuals who were at the centers compared with what was experienced during the one of the registration centers.
Yes, we abato komisa mamdi mensa ene ne mpanimfo ebra eba beto odwa se wo kwa akotro odi a wo bedru ho no na kire se amanfo follow so ban social distancing dia wo mu ni so ene ade no so ede nhyehyɛ ya ba kire se ede okudu ha ma o cheese na kire se wo de asala no se ne ebeye na ebeboa ne betumi atetetete ho ntam ne etumi akwati akodi ewu COVID-19 no
Tell no more can't say face one no a shot and I just for so obi nko no obi ababy ne sisia no senior electoral commission at the bar says the queue management ebeba senior ma and the end so abetumi akofie na omo ho no matumi atete omo ntem no e na omo chere dia na face 2 ya ya sha say na chese bibia ekoye ewo ho na no na ye nyina ye pe say ye ba kwa registration e wie na bia COVID-19 enkotre wo ho nte no so eno mo nsem no ye to aso ewo page 12 for 13 final year HS students in 4 schools test positive for COVID-19. 13 final year students in senior high schools in the country have tested positive for the global pandemic coronavirus. Few days after returning to school, the Ministry of Education has confirmed the cases were recorded in the Greater Accra and the Central Region. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra yesterday, the Deputy Minister of Education in charge of basic and secondary education, Dr. Agyeiwaa Educhum, confirmed that 6 students at the Accra Girls Senior High School test positive. In addition, a teacher at a school together with his wife had also tested positive for COVID-19. 2 other students from Odogono SHS equally tested positive for the disease in Accra. In the Ashanti region, 3 students at the Konongo Wesley SHS had tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, in the Central region, the Infantipim schools recorded 2 confirmed cases of the COVID-19. The Deputy Minister said, bringing the total of students who have tested positive for COVID-19 to 13.
Just ba ne say COVID-19 yare na esuafo na ekwakoti nimdiye de akwakotro mo wasi ensohwe ne sisi ade okopi ngo suku ahuro no bia yade a esuafo ni bi attest positive na no na doctor ya ose educhum ede nsem ba bepie mo obro ne Ghanaian Times nsentro ehwehwe nkomo na ne fa etosudu mienu no krate emu no o kire se yare ne bi esuafo ma test positive no dumiensa ye final year students no na afinsu na schools ahoro enai and esuafo attest positive ewo mu.
Agyeiwaa ye hwe page 12 na se wa ye senior minister test positive send ndra no just ye bobo so sa na just and also no yanto aso ewo page 13 or Temale Central Hospital performs 540 fistula surgeries. The Temale Central Hospital in the Northern Region capital has successfully carried out 540 obstetric fistula surgeries out of 600 cases over the past 4 years. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Mahmudu, had disclosed. He told the Ghanaian Times on Thursday in Temale that the surgery had saved the lives of women and restored their dignity because they were objective of stigmatization in their communities.
Interese obi afuri hare eno ho nsema na ye kan no ne koba ne sa bunya bi na se kwese ye surgery ni ade na ya na enka na eba no eni enya ewo ma ho ha de insuo ni chese dwonso kakra ne me bedi afra aba no wo bi benwa na eni enya ahunti akoba ne sa na stigmatization de ekoso wo ho no mpa obi mpo mpese obeben live se wo ho mi a ensiso eno no ha adwumpa nti wo mo stress be ya nkaye mwa na yenya stigmatization ni ade se koba ne sa ma ne fere wo muntimi mfo empie enko ba bia
na just say Ghana had the adwin say bibia no stigmatization be di kan ene COVID-19 ye stigmatization ye ba we ye stigmatize hey
Zaren dia wo ye a ehu condition no wo ye hwan wo ye nko ade a saa empampan no ebefi wo ho aba.
Yenta so ewo pay 13 as was pound drivers police clash over bad roads, 3 drivers injured. 3 drivers got injured when the police fired rubber bullet gunshot at them to disperse a crowd during a scuffle with the law enforcement personnel at Pong in the eastern region. This followed as a sit-down strike by members of the Pong branch of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union of the Trade Union Congress. The action of the drivers, numbering about 100, resulted in hundreds of passengers who traveled from the Pong Township to Tema, Mahiang Pong Barrier, Shanghai, among others, stranded. However, other drivers forced passengers to alight from vehicle of colleagues who flouted the directive of the Pong branch of the GPRTU.
Chese we mon drivers na chese a police for ni nyina eye ekwan bone ne ho won se ekwan ni bo no ma tete apansa ba um se omo mo de aban ebon ho mo de se wo behwe ama bibia akosoto na so no ehwemu dia nchese ehyenkafo miensa na wo mu epireprai.
Agyeiwaa back page of the Ghanaian Times was it bust Cocobol closed offices to protect workers against COVID-19. The Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited boss and the Ghana Cocoa Board have announced the closure of their head offices in Accra to ensure the safety of their staff against the coronavirus pandemic. This was after some staff of the 2 state-owned institutions tested positive for the coronavirus following a mass testing exercise carried out by the management. About 46 out of the 162 members of staff at the Information Technology Department at the head office of Boss Agyeiwaa in the Agyeiwaa West Municipality, Accra, representing 28.4%, have tested positive for the disease. A statement issued and signed by the company's corporate communication department said, after the mass testing, a number of the staff tested positive and arrangements are being made for their treatment. It said this has necessitated the closure of head office to the public, adding that contact tracing will be carried out on staff who tested positive to start self-isolation immediately. Furthermore, the statement stated that the head office will be fumigated for the period to ensure the safety of staff was not compromised when work resumed. Management will further like to assure the general public that the arrangements will not negatively impact the operation of the company since all staff have the needed facilities and enhancement to work from home within the period, it said.
The back page of Ghanaian Times is so na yedru now the back page ni dia senior canon Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited and afin su Ghana Cocoa Board Cocoa Board for woman sisi the COVID-19 yare ebi ate se won sent no na sese wo mu eja ejuma asanom de edu effect na ejuma na mu de anye so mu jai prasa wo mu eye ejuma efie nse wo mu na ma be so ebe ye ejuma ne kwanso senia ese efata no we na chesa se ehwe iskasem na ohwe abefo ntintin fidie so esema ebubo ban amafo echirem dia na sesi ade asoya hudu ekura na ye tutum we na so niam ebibu so koso ntino ye hwe anim senia eniem ko de besi bia MATV de be so mo asompa
The day chat saw the Ghanaian Times back page was the Hajj Board promises refund of pilgrims' fees. The Ghana Hajj Board says it's working feverishly to refund the Hajj fees of pilgrims and Hajj agents who paid to take part in this year's Hajj pilgrimage. This follows the cancellation of the program to international participants by the Saudi government, a statement issued by the GHB and jointly signed by the chairman of the Hajj Board, Sheikh Al-Haji Al-Issa Umar. Ghana Hajj Agents Association, copied to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday, said the Minister of Hajj and Umrah and the government of Saudi Arabia last June issued a statement cancelling this year's Hajj to international participants. It said the cancellation of this year's Hajj pilgrimage to international participants by the Saudi government was due to the coronavirus pandemic and the risks that it continued to present to the well-being of society.
The back page of Ghanaian Times for Wakata na yigusu ejina no na senia da ye nuanu Muslim fo afi biara no wɔn kɔ ekokopie na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn hajj na wɔn nso wɔn edi so pɛpɛɛpɛ n'ɛnom ɛna ɛyɛ Ghana hajj board wɔn de aba abɛtu dwa wɔn kyerɛ sɛ amanfoɔ tietie sika sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ nanka wɔn nso wɔn bɛkɔ sɛnea wɔn ɛyɛ sɛ wɔn nyinaa kopie mu ɛwɔ Saudi Arabia na wɔn nso wɔn akɔ akɔda nyame ase akamfo no sɛ wɔn nso wɔn da so te nkɔm ne mpɛmpɛnsoɔ a wɔn aduru na afei so wɔn asrɛ bɔ ne fakyɛ nanso ɛnam COVID-19 kɔdi ewo yare nti ntumi amba so ne sɛ nti na wɔn de nhyehyɛ bia egu akwam na amanfoɔ sika a wɔn tua no wɔn atumi de ama wɔn.
Abusiafo ya kai mo se morning break newspaper review no na chete ye de to aso amam kosoa na ma messages no embra e wo Facebook na afin so WhatsApp number na e da screen no so na ye ken kan ma de adui ye twa ye ho aba ye ba daily guide mo nsem no ye de ato aso amam.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
For your time on my car baby ye kai se wo hwe e wo Facebook na face wa share ama wunya bi ahwe bi anasa wa share atu page se ne be na afoforo so ebenye bi ahwe na face so ko YouTube a na ne wa wodo tamp ne chese wo dey subscribe fefefe na chese obenya notification bra ye programs ni nyina na MATV se na meka no ne ma pankwan ne man programs no ya hyehyɛ se ya ye de ni nyina eba besom de adru daily guide mo semeno so ye de to aso e wo dwumadi ni mama to kosoa na ma messages no embra e wo Facebook and afin so WhatsApp number na e dash screen no so send ya mekan nti ye sha ase de a na ye de front page no and e sha ase na afin ya to aso e wo page 3. We see the ongoing registration exercise by the Electoral Commission has captured a total of 2,216 registrants who have instantly received the voter card across the country. The First Lady in the weekly update made available, the Commission put the Greater Accra region in the lead with a tally of 427,039 registrants across the various registration centers, following on the heels of the Greater Accra region, the Ashanti region, which posted a total number of 423,998 registrants during the first week. At the bottom, during the first week, is one of the newly created regions, Oti region, which has a total number of 38,551 registrants. By the end of the month-long exercise, there will be no confusion or no even doubt about the IT-driven gathering of details and totals. The Eastern region recorded 215,616 registrants as the regional as the Central Region had 202,036, with the Western Region holding 145,741.
Chese daily guide ko wakata no ene yede etwa so amamwo ne ye the front page of the daily guide ko wakata na nsam na ban de chese abato commission wo share edinchocho yasin na watcho ba akopɛ no wo mo abodwuma papa chese Ghana fo de ahokeka akwa akotrom de chese opipi mienu 2 million voters na watchmu no wo mo akwa akotrom de se ne beye na wo mo nsa ebeka voters ID card de do afimfinu ene edu number to na wo mo so etumi akwakotu bi na no nkran pumpuni mantem ha se de chese 427,000 na afi 39 na omo akwakotu mu nim sanso na okokopiem e wasante mantem de a 423,998 na wo mo atrotro mu de afi so woti mantem honum nipa 380,551 na chese mantem ahuru nyina pie mantem nso 215,616 and our Makwakochum, the infantry mantem nso 202,036 and so and our Toya mantem no 145,741. After voter mantem nso 139,968. Northern region so 121,818. Bunu mantem 94,834. Afe Blue East Mantem 84,572. Upper East Mantem also 71,526. Afe so Upper West there Wukupim wonum de anchese 69,909 and a Western North Mantem House 64,199. Afe so ahafu mantem 44,640. Savannah mantem honum 43,632 and afe North East mantem so 37,024 na chese ohwemu a ahokeka no ekwa anim pa amanfo etrotrom din se no sabeka voters ID card bi.
Yet also our pay 3 honors COVID-19 hits hard. The COVID-19 onslaught is becoming a source of worry in the country, as a number of government institutions have had to take drastic measures in the bid to stem the tide after results of tests conducted on a number of staff returned positive. Institutions such as the bulk oil storage and transportation have shut down, while the Ghana Cocoa Board has said it's closing down its Accra head office for a 2-day fumigation exercise. Ghana's foremost health center, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, has announced that it is suspending all non-emergency surgical cases for 2 weeks. Ghana Health Service warning. The Ghana Health Service has announced 4 nights ago that the infection mode was taking a new turn. The Ghana Health Service Director General Dr. Patrick Kuma Boaje has said that COVID-19 cases had been recorded in some specific industries and government agencies. He said confirmed COVID-19 cases were being recorded in oil and gas companies, media houses, and government agencies in particular, but did not give any figures for the cases recorded in those areas.
Metaso dia daily guide ko wakata ne fa etoso mi nsana na am de etoso matwaso e wo ne fa etoso 9 no COVID-19 yare e ma ne humre so mpe e wo Ghana na chesa akwakobo ewura eye bulk oil storage and transportation enam so e ma se ombe ye adwuma de sisia de wo mo atwe asensen se ne benom de enuro ebe petepete onomo nti eno nchese enam yenum no de enuro ebe petepete omo offices ahuro ni nyina na enye ehonko ehwe apomdi aso na asanse adwumayefo no bebre enya yare bi afen so Accra girls ba ebeto hwe chese yare no esuafo ni bi enya bi omoye contact tracing ahwe se obi a wonya bi no oni obi enya chese nkita odi anase nhye mu amo no so enya bia na asanso na Cocoa Board fo so ede ba betu dwa se twase wo mo so wo di nuro epitipiti si binom attest positive no mo ye adwuma efi wom efie mu nti no nsem na krate ede eba ebepie mu e wo ne fa etoso miensa no mo to aso e wo ne fa etoso 9.
So our page 4, the editorial frosted target EC form IA. The guarantee requirement for those who neither possesses a passport nor a Ghana card is now the target of electoral fraudsters as they seek to exploit to their advantage, with the previous source of abusing the electoral laws now sealed, and it were the process for the compilation of a new voters register ongoing at the guarantee approach. The surface segment has turned out to be a major quarry for the fraudsters as they operate in their devious syndicated, with the Form IA being their document of choice, would spend any amount of money to require it. Of course, this is being done for a political in the country. This is indicative of the EC's commitment to deliver on its mandate in a manner that would extort the democracy in the country. Let them maintain the tempo of the commitment as the days elapse.
Krataa ni fa etoso nnan no ideally guide no mu na yegusu ejina ya abato komisan ene ne mpanimfo ehye edin intwetwe ya se IA no ho nsensem no chese amafo bi nipa bonfo bi de wo mu na mpati kwan so ande ense emfata kra ade ewu nim se ense beka wonsa ma odidi ujuma na aso no wo mu na mpati kwan so ye ne ma chese ense emfata ewu edin intwetwe yi mu.
Yensha page 5 was Mecca left lifeless after coronavirus cancels Hajj. Saudi authorities are preparing to carry out a very scaled-down Hajj, which for the first time will not include pilgrims from outside the country. This year's Hajj will go ahead after all, but will be very different. The annual pilgrimage to Mecca, which all able-bodied Muslims complete at least once in their lifetime, usually see more than 1.7 million people flying in to join 600,000 Saudi residents for the event. The event saw a spike of 3.1 million attendees in 2012, but for 2020, only 1,000 people will be able to attend the event, which for the first time will not include pilgrims from outside Saudi Arabia.
Krataa ni fa etoso enum Mecca de nke ho na bribia na Hajj ekoso ewo ho no mo Saudi Arabia na so ene de ho no mo atindi se COVID-19 ko de we yade ma ne homre so na ma ba bia ayehu ahie mu kura ye tutututu mu akyerese ensese woni unyonkumpo ejina faako mo ba hu nti ekoba ne sen na motumi akọ ni senti no ekopie mu ho no mo atem se din.
Na Agyeiwaa yefi Mecca nsem ya yenhwe story bi akyerese wo is our story as was say bus plugs into reservoir in China, 21 dead. A bus carrying students to an exam plugged into a reservoir in China on Tuesday after making a sudden swerve across 5 other lanes to traffic, leaving 21 dead and 16 injured. A video on state media showed. The video on CCTV social media accounts showed the bus moving at a slow pace on the inside lane of its side of the road before it made a 90-degree turn and smashed through the Grand Line onto the other side of the 6-lane dual cartridge way and into the water. CCTV says some of the passengers on the public bus were students scheduled to take the Bako or National College entrance examination. I just say almost cultural exams. Na chese o hwe picture kura wa ha chese car na butu a chese omo hye nsuo ni mu ene
amani pa chese eduonu baako 21 atoa nananu bonse do enumu ni nso emudu nsia na eprepra na say CCTV cameras na capture ne man bi kire say esuafo a wo kwa akotrom ye omo college entrance examination no wo mo so na ebi etete ehye no mu a ene ya kwakoda ne ebutu a chese wo hese ne ada ne hye nsuo no mu an chese areho de nti we no China memo na reho semi esiye CCTV ne de boa pan no na nam tumpom de hu se sei ne ekoso nti ya wo ma wonsa akabi na so wo de edi udwuma kama.
Yensha page 6 one or say we don't fear Mahama vice president. A deputy campaign manager for the New Patriotic Party (NPP) in the 2020 election, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, has said the selection of Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman to partner former President John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress (NDC) 2020 ticket does not pose a threat to the electoral fortunes of the ruling NPP. He, however, said despite the situation, the NPP will not be complacent but will continue to work hard to justify any Ghanaians who should give them another mandate. Mr. Hamid said the party and its campaign will focus on her tenure as education minister under the administration of John Mahama and avoid personality attacks.
So we are manual say NPP ni NDC nsem no abedi jana we o say we don't fear.
Share, for share ne ka ho.
Ama bi fa ha ti we deputy campaign manager de ma NPP amanyoko no afifi no ene eduru no abatu no mu Dr. Mustapha Amide no de nsem atu bi o kire se Ghana mampani dida John Dramani Mahama wapa ochese ni obeye wabedi echire enu no bi behind vice president se wo ba ebeye mampani ane no na ochirem se wo mu nsuro kapre se wo mu nsuro ba ko se na Agyemaya na se wo ye chese ba ne se waye professor ni ade wo ndi o mu nsuro ba ko se wo mu nim se afimpinu na edu no abato de NPP amanyoko na na ebedi nkuni nti ano de wo mu si hu bi akra enyom wo mo da kra na o mada so da papa bi ehwa mo krom nti se wo mo nte kra se wodogo bi enu aba na se wo bi ene o mo ba be pre akonya ne so
Na yɛda so awɔ yɛ maame Jane Opoku Agyemang ho nsɛm yi ɔsɛ baptism of fire greets NDC running mate. It was quite a baptism for fire for former Minister of Education Professor Jane Opoku Agyemang after the National Democratic Congress flag bearer ex-president John Dramani Mahama announced on Monday that he had chosen her as his running mate for this year's election. Professor Opoku Agyemang, 69, hardly had a foot through the door of her appointment before she was welcomed with political punches from the ruling New Patriotic Party, which said it is important to remind Ghanaians what the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast brings to the John Dramani Mahama ticket. The Director of Communication of the NPP, Agyeiwaa Samoa, stated that in an ideal deal of the world, one of the strongest things going for the selection of good professor would be that she is a woman, and this would be met with a lot of enthusiasm.
chese mami na anaje Agyemang wo no ne ho nsem chese nkrata ne di ehim ewo musa wo mo kire se na wo bepa obi a chese wo no wo ko bra na chese wo kopiem ewo asuapon mu ana wo no wodi dwuma ho pae University of Cape Coast no na bra na oye vice chancellor na kurempo no sene osifa manage niema nti eno no de nya de a NPP amanyuko no ebom hu kura ba ko sinti na chese eno ho nso nsem a ifi ofate ne feto so ntia no eni
Yenye entertainment kakra na chese page 8 was Miss Bell mocks Nigel Gaize over NDC running mate prophecy. Miss Bell, who is a known sympathizer of the National Democratic Congress, says Nigel Gaize prophecy about Professor Jane Opoku Agyemang being a running mate to NDC John Mahama in the upcoming 2020 election is fake. According to her, it wasn't revealed to him by God. Prior to Mahama announcing his running mate, a video surveyed on social media of Nigel Gaize prophesying about Professor Opoku Agyemang becoming the running mate. In the video, which according to reports was recorded on December 31, 2019, Professor Nigel Gaize claimed, "The hand of the Lord came on me, and I entered into the eastern region. I saw a woman who was once upon a time in Attorney General. The woman was in a connection with the Volta region. The Lord took my spirit to the Fante land, and I saw these two women, one from Fante and the other had a Togo Voltarian background, holding the national flag of Ghana. Saith the Lord, between 2020 and 2024, Ghana will produce a female vice president."
eti we baseball eni jedie mu nsem kata ifa etoso wotwe no na kire se wodi prophet Gaize wodi ne ho chese fel pa wo kire se wo ba be hye nkom a wo kire se Ghana ha se ye benya mampani chese mampani omo be di o man so oba obe finfiri mantem san so na chese voter ba ko eno no chese well him dia Ghana mampani dia John
Socialite has frontally debunked rumors that she is having an enormous affair with businessman Ibrahim Mahama. According to her, speculation that Ibrahim Mahama, who is ex-president Mahama's younger brother, gave her a Range Rover and a mansion to make her recent birthday is also probable false. Ibrahim Mahama did not buy down my house and Range Rover for me to mark my birthday as people are speculating. It is all false. Agyeiwaa said on TV. Even though Ibrahim Mahama graced her recent birthday bash, she stated emphatically that she and the businessman mogul are not dating. Therefore, the false reports about them should cease.
nti we Agyeiwaa no de nsem aba betu bi o kire se Ibrahim Mahama na amanfo keka se car wo toma wo ne eda wusi de ma wo bra wudi wa oda no seme me de me ni hwie o no aba be sa de we nyina mam no kire mu de asese mampani de nua no enye ne nyonkumpo ene wa ba be sa de ne e de ama na ma wuntumi kura e de ba betu dwa na wo kire se Ibrahim Mahama ya de ache se wo ukopiem e wo Trazakwa mansion wo kukuru esi ho e de ma no enye adeketo ane no na haja for you say monto ma dwum na me Ibrahim Mahama no wonye me nyonkumpo na nkampese wa ba be sa de we e de ama
na baby interview in kwama ya like ye koye nwie ya nke no asa akasa this a damn question then they were sorry no ko ni baby we pu de mwanya na ma chese wa chire me nwa ba de onya ho ba ko so be se na enye no kre nse no so eno no page 9 o say KIA not for sale minister Aviation Minister Joseph Kofi Adda has denied media reports that the Kotoka International Airport KIA is being sold. In a statement, the minister informed the general public that the Kotoka International Airport is not for sale and no such deal has been convinced by the government of Ghana. A few days ago, there were reports that government was making moves to sell a Kia to Staff Suma, but the minister insisted that the reports were all false. According to the minister, what was being considered for the deliberation by the ministry and stakeholders, including the Ghana Airports Company Limited, was a proposed strategic partnership agreement between GACL and the Stamsuma Consortium to improve service delivery and expansion of infrastructure of the Kotoka International Airport to achieve government's vision of making Ghana the aviation hub within the West African sub-region.
na stress KIA na beto jasa wo mu ton aban ton ni ade no na aviation minister Joseph Kofi Adda e de aba beto dwa wo kire se sanse ni nyina no kure bi enim wo mo nka se wo mo kwa akoto bibie nti obia ento na adwuma fi sanse nsem no
aha na chese de obokrata mu nsem ni nyina ye di besi ne beda wase enso se wonya abre se ne de bia wonya abre na wo hwe ye no ai che ne be ka wo band wo ne wo ko Facebook na wo hwe se ya se na na ya me hwe wo ha nte no so mo koso a na mo hwe ye se ne ameka na MTV de ye ne mo a na enyi wo message bia aba no emre ne ntie chese ye be ka ne tentem so na de
me mo ba ko person no did kind ne de ban we if Chris Akins or say MH presenters are doing very well. Keep it up. I am always waiting for the excellent translation. The one say any more messages. Yeah, mother ban. Yeah, baby, I'm from Nanson. Yeah, mam na bantani and see to me. I can kind of the amount them so.
Neka say global sky security na afenso Leonard Holmes and a soya sen na chese me kan global sky there so hu say security ni amabia no enye na jeje mu kra for ho dan mo omo ene betumi abo na afenso Leonard Holmes Construction Company e dan bia opese usi no omo aye krado so mbeje ofel so na afenso omo aboa ama wakukuru sa dan na chese wo dream house no esi ho say igban anopenso meda father Dixon Junior say e say wataye chipa ma edi dwumadi abe ebiye pana afenso timbi ohwe ma sound ni nyina ekoyi amaye afenso say Charles say Charles two cities ni de ohun na waje ono so etaye chidede na afenso amakosombo e de entertainment gist no ebre beda wase e ka wo se ne aka bia no ye de to aso e wa meti widi ama yakram.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence.
Alright, my name is Nesta Lenas. I'm the General Manager of the company Global Sky Security Limited. Global Sky Security Limited, we are an international security company which we specialize in providing security services to various individuals or corporate organizations. When we talk of security systems, namely CCTV, access control device, electrical fence, tracking device, and security man guard officers as well.
The control room is designed in such a way that we have radios, a VCR radio there, which monitors our vehicles when they go out for day and night patrols, just to receive first-hand information from supervisors and the team who go out for that patrol.
With the ICT part of the services, that we're going to talk about the CCTV security systems, the access control systems, tracking device systems, biometric door lock systems, and many more. So when we talk about the ICT part, that is the ICT part of the company. We specialize in what I've mentioned earlier. And when you talk about the physical aspect, that has to do with the professional man guard security services. These are professional guards who recruit. We do background check on them. We do profiling on them. We actually train them on two things: theory part and the physical part. Theory part for them to know how to work with people, human relations, and also when it comes to the physical part, how to defend them. To defend themselves in terms of a robbery or an attack. So, long story short, basically those are the two things that the company provides.
For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching. Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.